I want to welcome everyone to the Lost Mountain Saga, the epic campaign for Vaesen from Free League. This should take... I don't know how long this will take. There are a bunch of interconnected adventures with a general plot, 5 mysteries or 5 adventures. So it may take us 5 sessions, it may take us 6, and we'll see how long it takes. But I want us to. I don't want it to be rushed. I want to savor and enjoy this, but I also don't want it to drag. So hopefully we can keep the timing just right, so we have just a wonderful time. To start out, we've got a whole band of new characters. So let's just maybe do some quick introductions. Let me just drag some tokens out here. And we can start with Dagmar. If you are ready, you can tell us about yourself.
I think everybody's met Dagmar before. She's somewhere around between being a child and a woman. She thinks she's a woman, but she's often quite childlike. She's a street kid. Her parents and the rest of her family were killed by a werewolf. She still likes to be on the streets, but if it's a cold night or something, she'll come back to the central place where everybody lives, which I can't remember the name of, and she sometimes get hand-me-downs and stuff from the other ladies in the team. So she often wears things that look a little bit more grown up than she probably should be wearing. She has a very feisty terrier called Blitz, which means lightning in Swedish, because he's lightning fast to bite anybody that he's perceiving as being an issue. So, and that's me.
Excellent. Well, let's go to our next female that might be likely to give hand-me-downs to Dagmar. We've got Ilsa. Ilsa, what can you tell us about yourself?
Yes, Ilsa is a very mysterious person. She comes from a very dark and possibly nefarious past. She's running from something, and she doesn't trust people very easily because of her past. And of course she has her cat with her called Crust, because he is a crusty, scruffy cat. And he's her little sidekick. And that's Ilsa.
And how about Lord Montgomery?
Well, yes, Lord Montgomery is, of course, an English lord, a wealthy aristocrat, and was once a cavalry officer in the war, but those days are gone, and now he seeks adventure wherever he can find it.
And you have your trusty butler, Nigel.
That's his pet.
His pet is Nigel.
Yes, Nigel's got a bit of he's not had like a hard upbringing, but he comes from a humble class, and Lord Montgomery thankfully values service, and saw Nigel with his makeup and his field kitchens, and he welcomed him, and so he's found himself a loyal servant.
Excellent. And last but not least, by any means, Freya.
Yes, Freya is an academic. She watched her partner be torn apart by a giant, which sounds terrible. And yeah, she has a little bit of like fight to her as well, and can talk her way out of some situations. I envision her kind of like Nordic Indiana Jones, but a lady.
Nice. I almost gave you a whip. It was so close when I was putting the finishing touches on.
She doesn't have a pet yet, but maybe she'll find one during this journey.
Excellent. Where we start the adventure, in most Vaesen adventures, is we start at our castle. And you should... Let me see if you all have access to the castle. Oh, you don't. Let me give you all access to the castle. So under the characters, you should now see the castle. And if you click on the castle, the first thing you'll see is the upgrades. The castle comes with a library, and it comes with a butler, Albert Frisk. And then as we adventure, just like we earn points to improve our own skills and talents, we can earn upgrades to the castle. And these will give us bonuses as the campaign goes on. There's also an area here for note-taking. If anyone wants to take notes, you're more than welcome to use this. Then there is the member statistics, which this will kind of give everyone an idea of like, hey, who's best at this? And so under physique, in general, it's Dagmar. But however, if we need to do a force task, Nigel, you have the highest marks in that. For logic, it's Ilsa. Although if it's learning, both Freya and Ilsa are tied there. Precision would be Ilsa, although Nigel is best with ranged combat. For empathy, it's Lord Montgomery. I mean, it's hard to match his skills at manipulation and inspiration. He is a paragon of British virtue, whatever that is. And then, so this is a kind of a character that we all share, and we can all choose as we do our upgrades and things like that, where we go from there. But we always begin most sessions or most new mysteries at the castle. And the castle is, we're part of the society, which is a group of individuals who have the sight, and the sight is the ability to see these spirits or supernatural beings called Vaesen. And they are not seen by muggles, basically. They don't see them. They might think it's a strange wind or a cold breeze or, an object just fell off the table for whatever reason, but you might see that it was something quite fearful or frightening. And sometimes they're not exactly frightening, but they are angry. And our job is not necessarily to destroy them, but to help them to resolve their conflicts so that there can be peace again. We don't necessarily wish ill upon the Vaesen, but there are ways to ease their suffering or to calm them. Vaesen and man tended to live in peace and harmony for centuries, millennia, until the onset of the Industrial Age. And as we stripped the forests of the trees and ripped open the earth to take whatever minerals we could find, the Vaesen took offense to this, and they have since started fighting back in their own way. And so if we can try to restore that balance, that's what the society seeks to do. Now that may not be what your individual motivations are, but the society in general. The castle has fallen into some serious disrepair. The society is losing members. It's not really in vogue to go around telling people, hey, I see dead people, or I see ghosts or spirits, things like that. And so not many people come forward. But we have all come forward because of that trauma, which gave us the sight. And as we began to piece the castle back together, discovering, rooms that had been boarded up, or secret cellars, or things like that, or restoring the gardens, from time to time we are called upon by people who need the society's help. And that is what happens at the beginning of this adventure. We're at Castle, and I don't know how to pronounce it, Gillenkreuz or Gillenkreuz, so we'll call it the castle. While we're at the castle, a man comes to the door. There's a knock on the door, and the castle butler, Algot, he will answer the door, and he returns and lets Lord Montgomery know that there is a gentleman caller, and he wishes to speak with Lord Montgomery.
Well, thank you, good sir. I'll have Nigel see him in, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, heaven forbid you get up and answer the summons yourself.
Yes, that would be improper.
Nigel, you follow the butler towards the front door, and there you see a lovely, charming-looking Danishman. And he bows and takes off his hat and introduces himself as Franzibald. He says, my friend, I am Franzibald Hansen. I am an old friend of Linnea and a member of the society. And you would know that Linnea was an elderly woman that basically was running the castle until she fell ill and has been hospitalized. And Franzibald wishes to meet with us. Now, there is a delightful description of Franzibald in the book. Let me grab it and tell you what he looks like, because it is absolutely delightful, as I said. let's see. Find my glasses. So Frenzebald, it says, let's see. He is as round as a cinnamon bun and shorter than most adult women. His hair is completely white, and he spends hours keeping his beard perfectly trimmed and well-conditioned. He's usually dressed in a lavish purple or green outfit with a matching derby hat and an excessive amount of jewelry. And he stands patiently for Nigel to show him where to go.
Of course, Master Frenzebald. It's an honor to have you. I will take you to the Lord Montgomery right away.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. And he eagerly follows you, and he's bowing and doing as much as he can to show that he is a gentleman as well, and appreciates the finer things in life. Now, Lord Montgomery, do you know Frenzebald? You have a talent that I believe you picked up after our last one-shot. That talent is contacts. And let me just send this to chat so we can all take a look. If you want to use this here, you can. Once per session, you can decide that you already know a certain NPC and that your relationship is a positive one. I may disallow it, but it's up to you. If you want to use that now, you're more than welcome to.
Well, certainly, Frenzebald, my good man. It is good to see you again. Please do come in and take a seat that we may discuss why you've come.
So you know a little bit about Frenzebald, then. You know that he is from Copenhagen, and that he has written extensively about Norse mythology, and about the supernatural creatures that live there. And he's an old friend of Linnea and a member of the society. And you know that he, as a bon vivant, he is a man who knows how to live life to the fullest, always looking for the next good story to write about. And he stands before you in his garish outfit, but well-groomed and looking as lovely as ever. Lord Montgomery, give me a vigilance roll, if you would, please.
Certainly.
You got a success. Again, you just needed the one success. You notice that in addition to his rather garish suit and his lovely hat and his well-groomed mustache and manicured fingers, you notice that he has a bright green gemstone on a chain around his neck.
Well, I wouldn't know much about that, but you know, Frenzebald, you being a historian, a writer of sorts about these Nordic legends, I believe we have an academic and an occultist in the castle with us today. I suppose you might like to meet them.
Oh, yeah, it would be a great pleasure and privilege to meet whomever is a friend of yours. I assume they are likewise members of our little society, are they not?
Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah. Please let us, rather than just meeting, may we not have a spot of refreshment? The journey from my carriage to your front door was quite long, and it's quite warm outside.
Oh, certainly. Nigel, if you would, some refreshments for our guest here.
Of course, Master. Forgive me.
Nigel, what do you prepare for Frenzebald? You don't know him, but it seems that Lord Montgomery does.
Ooh. What's he's had a presumably long journey. He'd like a nice drink, but I don't know what's he's a formal gentleman as well, so I don't think Nigel would want to presume.
If you
what time of day is it? That might help him decide.
It's probably about 11. It's time for 11s. If maybe a small, nothing heavy, nothing huge, but just something pleasant. Tea, of course, or coffee would be perfectly acceptable here. Most likely not anything of the alcoholic variety. It's a little too early for that, although Lord Montgomery has probably already started.
Yes. Well, a nice tea would be lovely for the master. I'm sure.
If you like, give me an inspiration roll. Nailed it with 2 successes. So you know that that you would want probably for for Franzibald, just based on appearances, he would not want something strong or dark. He would want something light, probably fruity or very fragrant. And you come up with a special tea. It's got lavender and perhaps a spot of lemon and honey, and you make it as fanciful as you can. And you find a few little cinnamon buns and other pastries, and bring it out on a nice, lovely tray, and you see Franzbald's eyes just light up, and his hand kind of reaches out, and then he pulls it back. No, please, I must wait until last, he kind of says to himself, and he's looking eagerly at Lord Montgomery, and you can see almost like a dog begging for a treat.
Well, Franzibald, please help yourself.
Oh, yes,
you've had a
indeed.
long trip.
And you haven't
Yes.
even finished your sentence, and he's already grabbing up a couple of buns and taking the tea, and he sits down and heartily munches away at them. And in between bites, and in fact you see that he's actually got some crumbs kind of falling out of his mouth as he's talking, and this probably comes as a bit of a shock to you, Lord Montgomery, to see this man who looks rather nice, is perhaps in his excitement is not chewing completely before he speaks, but he asks you to settle something. It's an idiotic dispute between a foolish, pious man and his constituents. We need to make sure the buffoon does not start another witch hunt. Here, read this for yourself. And he hands you a letter.
Lord Montgomery will not reach out and take it. He will instead say, Nigel, would you please? I don't have my glasses on me.
So let me show you this letter. I will make it available to everyone, and I will read it for us here in just a moment. Observer. Perfect. It says, Mr. Hansen, it is with great concern that I write these lines. Your name was recommended to me by someone I trust, and perhaps against my better judgment. I now place my hope in your particular talents and expertise. We have reason to believe our town, Falun, has become the target of witchcraft and devil worship, and will need your help urgently to find and eliminate the source of this evil. It all started with a series of accidents in the town mine, with horrifying howls coming from the dark caverns. And the venom from the mine has now spread into the town, with crops burning, milk turning to ash, and animals dying without reason. The miners, unfortunately, seem to have fallen under the temptation of ungodly and, dare I say, heathen behavior, which I suspect is more due to the lack of guidance by a true Christian, such as myself, than from actual fault in their character. But it can explain their resistance to help us solve this problem once and for all. I have taken it upon myself to cleanse this town of its moral depravity, and believe I shall be successful with the guidance of someone with your knowledge. We can speak more about this delicate matter in person. Signed, Reverend Bruselius. Lord Montgomery, have you invited the women to come in to meet Franzibald?
In fact, I will ask Master Frisk if he wouldn't mind and gather the rest of the society members that we might discuss this in more detail.
He says, but of course, and bows low and then skulks off to go and find the women, who return in short order, probably speaking amongst themselves about, we have a visitor. What could it be? And Dagmar, you're first in the room. You smell the pastries.
I smelled the I wasn't even, you didn't even know I was in the castle. But I somehow knew there was pastries, so I snatched one up and I'm got one in each hand and I'm going to share some with Blitz as well.
Oh.
And Franzibald gives you a genuine smile, pleased to see someone with a healthy appetite. And he pats his belly. One day you'll look like me.
I look forward to it. I hold the bun up and give him a nod.
Nice. Freya, you're in next.
I think she will, in her little picture, she's got like a little sword. I feel like she's gonna like spear one of the pastries with it. Like,
oh, I love that.
Yeah, Franzibald actually applauds. Oh, delightful, delightful.
She's like, thank you. Then she just kind of eats it off of the sword.
And he kind of leans towards you. Might I have a bite from the sword? And he has his mouth open as you dangle the little pastry on the blade towards him, and like a trained seal, he takes a little nibble out of it and just applauds. This is the most wonderful morning I've ever had. And then Ilsa, you come in seeing this plump, short man eating off of Freya's sword, and what do you make of all this?
Well, as I came in, I was quite hesitant, but when I realize I don't recognize this man, I am relieved, and I perhaps take a little bun and feed it to my cat.
And your cat probably sniffs it and then looks up at you like, this isn't what you normally feed me. Is Crust very picky and selective about what they eat?
Well, I fear he's become that way after all the luxuries I've given him.
If there's not fresh salmon on that bun, he's not interested.
Exactly.
He probably just sniffs it and then turns away and begins to lick himself. Licks his paw and swipes it over his face. Or is Crust a male or a female?
He's a male.
He's a male. Okay. Now that you're all gathered, Franzibald directs you, please read this letter, and you all have a chance to look over it. And he continues to sip his tea as you begin to discuss what's going on. He shakes his head after you've all had a chance to read the letter and says, I have had the displeasure of meeting many men like Bruselius before, but we need to be very careful. We do not want to escalate this conflict. I have a bad feeling the smallest of embers can burn the whole bloodied town down at this point. And then suddenly he lights up again. But we are going to Falun, which means that after we have sorted out this mess, he points at the letter, we can have some delicious fika at Dagny's, the town's best cafe and inn. Now, would Nigel and Montgomery, you probably don't know what fika is. Dagmar, give me a roll. This is going to be a learning roll. Got it. Ooh.
Nice.
So fika is basically like snack time. Once or twice a day, a typical Swede will sit down with a cup of coffee and a small treat, like a cinnamon bun or a cookie, to recharge, reconnect, and refuel. The ritual is called fika. It doesn't matter if it's a work day or not, everyone is expected to take the extremely important fika pause. To take a fika with a coworker or bring some fika to your friend or bake fika for a celebration, it's all accepted. The most important thing is to not ever, under any circumstance, skip the fika. And this is a chance to snack again, and clearly Franzibald is excited about this. He is looking forward to sharing this with you as well. So what say you? Shall we make our way to Falun? Montgomery, surely you will embark on this adventure with me. Don't leave me to deal with this man by myself.
Certainly I would love to help an old friend such as you out of such a situation, but of course the rest of my friends, the society here, it is up to them whether or not they join me, but you can count on me being there for you, my friend.
Well, I need a sword bearer. Certainly you will join us, and he points to Freya. To eat fika off of a blade. Oh, I would be the talk of Copenhagen.
Of course I shall join, but I think we do need to do a little research before we leave.
Oh, yes, of course. Take as much time as you need, although bear in mind that the town could be in cinders if we don't make some haste there. But please take a day or two, or whatever you need to prepare yourself. I don't mean to uproot you all at once. Besides, you've got delightful pastries here, so I see no need to rush. Mm-hmm. What about you, Dagmar? Would you accompany me as well, so we can have this fika?
Anywhere where there's cinnamon buns, I'm in.
Oh, someone after my own dear heart. And Ilsa. And he kind of frowns at your general, just dark colors and sort of dark mood. Everything's black with you, and he's bright and colorful. Perhaps a splash of color?
Well, after reading the contents of this letter, I would be glad to be of use where I can.
It is because of the contents of the letter that I am most concerned about you. You see, this Bruselius, we're trying to stop a witch hunt, and please just do not give the appearance of anything that might give him pause, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know I might be an occultist, but I'm not into that kind of
I did not mean to imply by any stretch, although perhaps, do you have anything besides black that you wear?
Well, I only wear black so I can match with my dear cat here.
Well then, I'll tell you what, while the rest of them are making preparations, I will take you shopping, and we'll get you something delightful, and something for little Crust there as well.
If you insist.
I insist. Now, we have the chance to do our preparations. So this is where you can do your advantage. You can kind of describe what you're doing to get that +2 bonus on one skill for the session, and what skill it might be. And then if you want to do any specific, research on Falun, in fact, I should put I think you got the name in the letter, but I'll put it in the chat as well, on Falun or Franzibald or Bruselius or anything like that. This would be the time. So does anyone want to start with either their advantage or with the actual research, the library use if we were playing Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah, I can start.
What does Freya do?
Let me look at her skills.
So if you
yeah.
want to use Bookworm, you get that +2. If you want to search we do have a library in the castle.
Yes, I would love to use Bookworm. And yeah, I think she's just gonna look up what she can about Falun.
Okay.
Is that how you say it?
Yep. I think. I don't know. I'm assuming it's Falun.
Sure.
I don't speak Swedish. Although I did learn Fika. It's in the book, so I know what Fika is.
Hey.
And the term Fika Pause, that's going to be like my new word for snack time. Ooh, lovely. So, looking up information on Falun. So, you know that Falun is kind of central. It would be very rural, central Sweden, and that there is a copper mine in Falun, and it hasn't always brought forth copper. It's a mid-sized town in the heart of Sweden, and the people tend to be friendly, but anytime you get into mid-sized towns, you never know what you're going to find. The mine has brought forth, as I said, copper, but recently people did find a little gold there. Some people even call the mountain the Great Copper Mountain. There are rumors that the mine had shut down for a time, but then because of the discovery of gold, it came back, and now copper has been found again. But there's nothing that you can find that specifies why they found gold or who was looking for it, just that gold was discovered, even though they had shut down the mine.
Okay.
And then, do you want to... you can take an advantage. You can tell me, and if you remember how to do that, you just choose a skill that you want to get a +2 bonus on at any point during the session. Just kind of tell me how you are practicing or using that skill to get yourself that bonus, and then you can go ahead and note that on your character sheet. Do you know what you would use for your advantage?
We'll do investigation.
Perfect.
And I think because she's kind of learning all of these details, it probably helps her figure out maybe what questions she can ask, or gives her a good angle on how to talk to the townsfolk there.
Oh, I love it. So on your character sheet under advantage, which is between Dark Secret and Memento, go ahead and put +2 to investigation.
All right.
And then who would like to go next?
I've got a pretty good idea for Nigel's advantage.
Sure.
Yeah, I like to think while, everyone's packing, he would put together a little, whatever, would suffice for a first aid kit at this point.
Oh, excellent.
Some kind of medicine thing. And also maybe a nice little hip flask of Lord Montgomery's finest alcohol.
That's probably the first thing that you pack, because it'd be like Samwise Gamgee not taking rope. You know that Lord Montgomery would just berate you constantly if you forgot his little supply of refreshment. As you gather up some various astringents and bandages, and perhaps even some suture, if worse comes to worse. You've got those things, maybe even like a sling or things that you might need, enough that you would feel comfortable if you had to do any sort of field surgery even, or any sort of work on a wound, that you'd be able to do that. So if you want to do your advantage on, is it medicine? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is it brandy? Is that what you have in the flask?
Yeah, what is your favorite, Montgomery?
Oh, well, Nigel, I'll have some whiskey if you don't mind. I like it in the morning.
And it's probably Highland whiskey if he's English. I don't know if he would drink the Irish whiskey at this point. At this point in history, well, that still are, the English and Irish don't exactly get along. So probably Highland whiskey. And Lord Montgomery, then, what are you doing for your advantage?
Well, I suppose this evening, perhaps I received an invitation for a dinner party, and while I'm there, I'd like to ask around and see what I can find out about this reverend, and see what, if anything, I can find an advantage over him, or some information that may prove useful.
Yeah, if you want to do either manipulation, if you're trying to get that information out of people, or perhaps observation, if you are just kind of listening in, maybe stoking the fires a bit and then just listening. Are you being active that people might remember, he was asking a lot of questions, or are you more being subtle?
I believe I would be subtle at this particular dinner party.
Give me an observation roll, please. Got it. Excellent. With multiple successes. You discover that you just kind of drop the name Bruselius, and then you go get a drink, and you come back, and now people are talking. And someone mentions that Reverend Edward Bruselius was recently married to a widow, Emily Ekdahl, and that this marriage was just within the last 2 or 3 years, and it has been. You've learned that it's the marriage has not been fully happy. That Emily has struggled to produce a child for Bruselius.
Well, as I leave,
that's the high society
will,
gossip.
Yes, as I leave, I will make sure to counsel with Nigel, and that we might both use this information to benefit the society.
Excellent. And you go ahead and add that advantage onto your character sheet. How about Ilsa? What are you doing for your advantage?
Well, I always like to research the Vaesen recorded in any area we're traveling to before we go there. So I think I'll do that.
Yeah, so you can do a learning roll. Or investigation, I'll let you do. Probably more learning, because you'll be looking at the books here.
Learning.
And that is a success. There is scant little to be found about Vaesen in this area. Although there have been some rumors, some stories about things going on having to do with the mine. That there have been reports within the last year or so of the crops have been withering, food is going bad very quickly, that there are burnt and charred corpses of wild animals found in the nearby forest, and eerie, unsettling whimpers can be heard from the town's church. And
Ew.
yeah, You suspect that this is probably a Vaesen, but you don't know for certain.
Have I heard of anywhere else that have these problems that have been linked to a Vaesen?
So, not these specific problems, but let's see, I know that you as a player have played a Wicked Secret, but Ilsa has not. But this does not sound like a church grim. That wouldn't have anything with like spoiled food or charred bodies. Absolutely unsettling, eerie whimpers or sounds coming from the church could be that. So maybe there's something to that.
All right.
But it doesn't quite fit the model 100%. And so what are you going to take your advantage in? With this new information that you have, you could take it in anything. Maybe not like ranged combat or something, but anything under logic or empathy.
I think inspiration might be a good one for
so
that.
on your character sheet, if you want to add +2 to inspiration under your advantage. And then last we come to Dagmar.
Okay, so Dagmar's a people person more so than a researcher, and I was wondering if you would allow that she has actually built a bit of a relationship with Linnea.
Absolutely.
In the hospital. She always shows up at meal times, just accidentally, and so that she can share in meals. And so she wants to ask Linnea if she has come across any sort of phenomena that are similar to this in her long history of investigation.
Give me a manipulation roll as you ask those questions of Linnea.
Wow.
But you guys have succeeded on all your rolls so far.
Yay!
Off to a good start. Or you've used them all up. We'll see which it is.
Oh no.
In between coughs, Linnea warns you about pious men. She says, oftentimes we find that pious men bear great secrets. And you yourself, Dagmar, have come across this. And
I distinctly remember kicking one in the shins.
Exactly. And so this Edward Bruselius, you already perhaps have some suspicions. You know, it's like the lady doth protest too much. This guy's making a big deal out of something. You know, maybe look in the mirror, buddy. You know, maybe he's part of the problem. So she kind of confirms your suspicions that, you know, look into Bruselius for sure. That, you know, if wherever there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of smoke around this guy. And it could be that he is just pious, and but you have personal experience where a religious figure acted above their station.
Yeah, not very nice to us
No,
street
not at all.
kids either, in general. Would you say that was learning or investigation or vigilance, maybe? I thought.
I like vigilance.
Yeah. Okay. I'm watching that guy.
Yep. Aim for the shins. Perfect. So, I think that any other preparations anyone wants to make before we head out?
Nigel might do a little to-go bag for, ostensibly for Master Franzbold, but if it gets raided, who's going to stop him?
Yeah, he says, "Sir, you turned my head. I'm going to steal you away from Lord Montgomery."
Well, I appreciate the compliment, sir, but that is not possible.
Oh, well. Perhaps I'll come to visit more often then. You
Yes,
seen
control
fit-
yourself, Franzbold.
I'm sorry.
Nigel is a very loyal servant of mine.
It is September. Soon it will be very cold. I need to put on stores for the winter. As he takes another little fried delicacy coated in powdered sugar and plops it into his mouth and kind of wiggles his fingers. Ooh, it's so good, so delightful. You embark on the train to Falun. It's a beautiful golden and auburn landscape that passes you by on your journey, and Franzbold tells you a peculiar story of a man who went missing back at the turn of the century. The copper mine is not as rich as it once was during its prime, And so the prospectors decided to reopen abandoned old areas that were considered useless by most. In one of those chambers, they found the corpse of a young man. Strange, for it looked like he hadn't been dead more than 2 days. But there had been no recent reports of missing persons. So the men then decided to carry the body out of the mine and see if the villagers could identify him. After a while, an older woman steps up. "That's my Mats! That's my Mats!" she said, horrified. Apparently, the boy in front of her was the man she had once been engaged to 40 years earlier. He pauses and he looks at Dagmar with intensity. 40 years. There the boy was, almost half a century later, completely preserved, as if time had stood still. He breaks eye contact with Dagmar and shakes his head. And Dagmar, give me an observation roll. As he shakes his head, you see his left hand almost reflexively go up to around his throat, and you see him just gently stroking that green gemstone on a chain. And then he continues, "Now, the scientists will have their explanations, but there are things we do not understand yet lurking in these mountains." And he acts like he's going to say something else, but then there is a bell that rings, and he says, "Oh, it's almost time for lunch. We're going to be stopping soon."
Dagmar's going to ask, "That's a beautiful story. Does it have a story?"
Well, it's something I acquired during one of my many travels. It's one of my most valuable assets. And then you notice a little bit of worry on his face, and he says, "Please, bad memories. May we change the topic?"
Of course.
Thank you. Does anyone else push him on this? Good. After
Well, I could.
You could if you want. If you want to.
I could manipulate him. I could say, "Well, it's just such a pretty green, and it just matches your eyes and your cravat and everything,
Ooh.
and you're just so clever with colours. And I was just wondering if you bought it or if somebody gave it to you, or, does it have special powers or anything like that?"
Ooh, give me a manipulation roll. Add 1 bonus die. Because you're flattering him.
I am.
Nice.
Nice. He says, "Well, I found it. It was not given to me. I've discovered this, and I had it crafted into this necklace. It's my good luck charm, if you would.
Okay.
If you must know, I found it when I got the sight, and so it means a great deal to me in that regard."
Oh.
Give me a vigilance roll, Dagmar.
Okay. No luck.
Do you want to push that?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody else hears this conversation, because we're still in the carriage, right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, we're all on top of each other.
Anyone else push it?
I think it's
Okay.
crucial to our group that we all understand and trust each other, Mr. Hansen.
Well, of course.
That's
of course.
good.
Give me a manipulation roll.
Oh no.
God, how can you?
Ooh, wow.
So many dice.
Do you want to push that? You'll take a condition.
No, I don't want
Okay.
to push that.
You, after a couple of questions from the two of you, you notice he's getting a look of annoyance on his face, and he looks at Montgomery and says, "Montgomery, are you sure that everyone here is a good fit for this delicate investigation? Some are quite blunt and bordering on inappropriate."
Just
Mansbald,
curious.
you'll have to excuse them. They are most useful, I assure you. We at the Society would, well, as you know, some of these adventures can prove quite dangerous, and sometimes it takes a bit of being blunt or bold to truly uncover these mysteries. You'll have to excuse it if it bothers you, but I'll see what I can do, and we'll try to make you comfortable.
Ooh, well put. He begs forgiveness. I'm sorry. Please, Dagmar, Ilsa, Freya, please forgive me. And perhaps I'll just put this out of view. And he tucks it beneath a little silk scarf that he's wearing around his neck. And there. Now it shan't bother any of us.
But you know, Franzbold, I like to consider that we're very close friends. Perhaps you can confide in us what it is this little gem of yours truly means to you, as it perhaps it would help you to relieve yourself, and simply tell us a bit more about it. It is quite interesting.
Perhaps not today, but perhaps tomorrow. We can talk about this tomorrow. The memory is a little too dear, and I don't know that I'm ready to speak of it yet. And you notice that the joyful cherubic look on his face is gone, and now he is almost like a switch has been flipped, and now he is not the happy, jolly little plump man that looks like a cinnamon bun, but he looks tired and angry, and the weight of worry on his shoulders. You can see it on the expression on his face.
Oh, I have just the thing, Franzbold. Nigel, if you wouldn't mind pouring our friend here a drink.
Of course, Master. I believe that's quite appropriate. If you would, and he's gonna, I don't know, find some kind of. I don't know that he would have the foresight to carry drinks. He's just gonna hand him the flask. As you will, Master.
He says, "Yes, when in Rome," and he tips it back, and you see his eyes go bloodshot for a moment. My goodness, that was quite strong. Oh, thank you. Yes, I feel relief already. But come, let us speak of other things. Tell me, Lord Montgomery, about your most recent exploits. And no matter how hard you push, you can't get any information out of him about this gem. But clearly, he is protective of it. Soon you arrive in Falun, and I've got a map of Falun. Let me take us there. Perfect. Here is Falun and the Copperbine. And so where we are, we're going to be at the railway station, which is right here. If you can see that. The copper mine is over into here, and the church is right there. And he says, first we must go to the cafe of one of my dear friends, Dagny Dubois. She's a French woman, you see, and the carriage takes you to a cozy and bright inn decorated in the latest French fashion. You're met with the fresh smell of cinnamon buns, and the inn is quite crowded as several people are enjoying their afternoon fika, as is the norm. At the very center of the main room is a whole buffet of Scandinavian pastries and warm coffee, and that look of joy has returned to Franzbold's face. A voluptuous brunette walks over. I have a picture of her. This is Dagny Dubois. She is accompanied by her a small but fierce little Yorkshire Terrier. And in a very thick French accent, she introduces herself as Dagny Dubois. And let me put her name down here. Okay. Dubois. She welcomes you, "Oh, Franzi!" And she goes and gives him 2 kisses, one on each cheek, and then stops and looks at the rest of you and leans towards Montgomery. Nigel, are you going to let this woman kiss Montgomery?
I think Nigel would read the room. Is Montgomery like concerned?
Yeah, does Montgomery want these plebeians to
I
lay
think
hands
Montgomery
on him?
will curtsy, maybe perhaps take their hand and do the gentleman a greeting, but he's a bit more reserved.
Nice. Freya, give me an observation roll as you see this happening.
Yes. Aha.
Excellent. Despite the happiness that she's currently projecting, her eyes appear to be quite red and swollen. You know that she's been crying recently. But she's not letting it affect her as she greets Franzibald and his new friends. As the small talk continues and she takes you to a table and tells you, please help yourself to whatever you like, coffee, treats, it's all on Dagny. And the little Yorkshire Terrier comes over and is sniffing at crust and I just totally lost the name of
Blitz.
Blitz,
I think
yes.
actually Blitz and this terrier have been swearing at each other, and I think I might have to pick him up and actually take him outside. But I snatch up some sweet treats on my way out the door.
Nice. When you step out, you're the first to notice this then. You notice that a man dressed in black and accompanied by two women is heading towards the inn. And I should have a picture of this man. Let me post a picture of the man. This is the man, and on his arm is this woman right here, and she has lovely red hair. But they are both standing very tall, very prim and proper as they walk towards the inn. He takes one look at Dagmar and just turns his head as though disregarding you for whatever you might be. He probably thinks you're a street urchin.
That's absolutely fine by me. I hold Blitz up to my face and cuddle him, and I just sort of back away a little bit out of their way. But I also, remembering what Linnea said, I'm watching him like an eagle.
Perfect. He goes into the inn, and as he does, you hear that the entire inn goes quiet, except for maybe you hear Montgomery kind of chuckling with Franzibald, and that's the only sound you hear before the door closes and you hear a man's voice from inside, but you can't quite make out what's being said. Now, those inside the inn, you see that when this man comes in and everything goes quiet, Dagny immediately gets up and hurries over to him. He quietly says something to her, and she escorts him and the women to a different room. And after a few minutes, she comes back and nervously tells Franzibald that Reverend Bruselius is here to see him. And Franzibald looks at everyone at the table. Well, shall we? And then he looks at Ilsa. Oh, perhaps you can go put on that dress.
I don't see why I have to.
Oh, but it's such a lovely shade of purple. It's plum. Will you not put it on?
Oh, I don't think so.
Will you at least tie the ribbon onto crust?
Sure.
Oh, excellent. And he pulls this little silk ribbon and ties a nice little bow tie around Crust's neck. Does Crust love it or hate it?
You can see he's scratching to get it off.
Yeah, clawing at it with his back foot. Oh, there, kitty, there. And he just pats Crust on the head.
He hisses.
Nice. Come, let us go speak with the Reverend. And then he looks around. Oh, where's Dagmar?
I think Dagmar's probably just popped Blitz down onto the ground now and just taking him for a little walk up the street, and she's perhaps looking around if there's any other sort of kids or teenagers that she could chat to and maybe hear a bit of gossip about what's happening in the town.
Perfect. We will come back to that.
Yeah.
So, Bruselius is waiting for everyone in a private room. He's sitting cross-legged in an armchair. The room is empty apart from a couple of wooden chairs. The two women are standing behind him by the window. Their eyes are downcast. In a cold and calculated manner, he recounts the problems that the town has been facing. There have been accidents in the mine. Crops are dying. Milk spoils as soon as it leaves the cow. And there have been attacks late at night. Bodies have been found in the woods, and now in the very streets. I wish to keep this short and to the point. Witchcraft, he says in a cold, monotone voice. I have noticed certain tendencies already, and he eyes Ilsa. And then there's a few shouts of laughter coming from the other room, and his eyes quickly dart towards the door leading into the common room. And it doesn't take a roll to know that he is angry, and likely at everyone and everything. I will not speak more of it here, but come visit me at my church, and I have already begun my own investigation. I'd be happy to share with you my findings. I assume you are all good Christians? And Franzbald says, oh, yes, of course. And he kind of looks around, looks specifically at Ilsa, turns and looks at Freya, doesn't even pay any notice to Nigel and Montgomery. He's more worried about the two women. He says, of course, we would be happy to hear what you have to say. We will meet you there perhaps after supper. Let me have Nigel. Give me an observation roll.
Ah, wow.
Okay. Ooh, nailed it. So, you are used to tending to people and determining their needs before they even know them. You've learned this as a servant, and you look at presumably his wife, Emily, and you see that she is looking at her husband with contempt and hatred. But otherwise, when she looks away, her demeanor is that of a sad, lonely young woman. She looks to be about 20 or 25 years younger than Bruselius. Bruselius is an old man. He's perhaps as old as Montgomery. And this young girl is probably not much older than Dagmar. And she looks at Nigel, kind of makes eye contact, and there's almost a pleading look in her eyes, like she wishes to be anywhere but here. And then she looks down at her feet, fearful that perhaps she has said too much with her body language.
Goodness.
Say, Bruselius, is your church suitable to receive a lord?
My church is fit for the only lord that matters. He kind of chuckles to himself at the clever turn of a phrase he just made. All shall be humbled before the true lord.
Surely, but it would be a shame if I were to arrive there and find it not suitable for my needs, and so I recommend you take extra care in preparing your place for my arrival.
It would be easier for a wealthy man to go to send a camel through the eye of a needle or some such than it would be to enter the kingdom of heaven. As he begins to tell you different platitudes about the follies of pride. I assure you, sir, the humble manger that held our Lord is more than sufficient for him, then the church that we have here will be more than sufficient for you.
I'm skeptical, as it's not of the Church of England, the proper church, I should say.
I suspected you might have been one of those. What are you doing here, Ferdinand? Franzbald, why are you bringing this heathen lot into this town? And he
apparently to fight witches.
He says, "Oh, no, Bruselius, they're very capable. They will help. You ask for my help. This is how I will help you, by bringing those that I know and I trust." Bruselius stands up and says, I am but your humble servant in this, should you need any assistance. He then begins to walk out of the room. Without a word, the two women follow him. Now, outside, we've got Dagmar. So Dagmar, you do find there's quite a few young people in town. None of them are... it's September. School has just started recently. School has gotten out. You see not a lot of kids. There's, maybe a group of 5 or 6 here and there, maybe a few older teens. Some are escorting probably their younger siblings, but there are people out and about. Are you looking specifically for like street rats, like urchin kind of things, or wealthy kids?
No, I'm looking for the sort of kids that would recognize each other as being a little bit down at heel kind of
Got
kids.
it.
And of course, we use Blitz to invite conversation. Like, say, go say hello.
Give me an observation roll.
Okay.
Ooh, do you want to push that?
Yes. I'm a little bit frightened because this town is a bit creepy right now. That
bit?
guy was creepy. Observation. Doesn't want me to know.
There's a few kids, and they actually they make eye contact with you and begin to approach, and they see your dog, and then a few whispers from one to another, and they turn and leave. You've run into issues of people being unaccepting of strangers. Usually that doesn't apply so much to children, but perhaps they've been told to avoid people they don't know. You haven't had the chance to hear Father Bruselius, but if you had, you might suspect that he was the reason why.
Yep, okay. Well, I still learned something, that normally kids would be so curious
Absolutely.
about another kid, so...
You spend the rest of the day recovering from the journey. Franzibald says, there's no rush. Dinner will be along in just a few hours. Let us just enjoy this fine autumn evening and make preparations in the morning. We'll go meet, perhaps after supper, we'll go meet with the Reverend, or perhaps tomorrow. I'm not in a rush. I would rather observe and see what's going on in town. As you rest and eventually get rooms in the inn, night begins to fall. Does anyone do anything before you go to bed in town?
I'd like to talk to Dagny if I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's more than eager to talk to you. Oh, friends of Franzibald, you're friends of mine. How can I serve you?
Yeah, just, that Bruselius guy, like, what's his deal?
Oh, his deal is the true deal. He is a wise man. I have tried to become a better Christian ever since he arrived in town.
And when was that?
Oh, about 3 years ago. He was recently wed and brought his young bride here into town.
That's one of the ones that was following him around today.
Oh yes, Emily. She's quite lovely. The other is her handmaiden that sees to her needs, whatever she might require.
And do they have a happy marriage?
Oh, well, you'd have to be happy to be married to such a man of God, would you not? Wouldn't that be what makes you happy?
No, but I can see how it's a...
Give me a manipulation roll.
Okay. Aha.
Got it. Happy. Well, let's put it this way. Emily spends most of her time at her house. She is essentially confined there, unless she's escorted by Bruselius. But at the house, she's guarded by... I said handmaiden. It's Bruselius's sister, Berta. That was the other woman. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell a fib, but You asked so many questions. I don't know that I'm comfortable with this, but things have been difficult. They tried to have a child. Apparently she had one, and as a newborn, the poor child was called back up to heaven. And the strain on Emily has been more than she can bear. But if she puts her faith in God, and Bruselius being a man of God, he will see her through this. Of that I'm sure.
Freya will nod and then be like, well, I know that we don't know each other, but I do appreciate you taking the time to talk, and I would love to buy a whole bottle of wine for the trouble. I do have one last question, though I apologize if this is overstepping. I noticed earlier you seemed to be a little bit distraught when you welcomed us. Does that have anything to do with the troubles in the town?
Yes, it's frightening. It's like the plagues of Egypt. These things that have been happening, but if we are faithful, so says Reverend Bruselius, we will overcome. And so I do my best to be faithful, but it's hard. Even the Israelites, as they took their exodus, they grumbled against Moses, did they not? And you see a little bit of doubt in her eyes, like she's saying these things almost to convince herself as much as she's trying to convince you. To buy that bottle of wine, you can make a resources roll, since you have a high resources. So there's no way to actually click on your resources and roll it, but you have 4 in resource, so you'll roll 4 dice. So you can just go down and type /R space 46, and it should roll 4 dice. And if you get at least 1 6, she will have a very nice bottle for you. There's a 6 right there. Yep, she has a very fine bottle for you. And in fact, it's covered in dust, and she's dusting it off and getting it cleaned up. And this is, probably the best wine she has in the house. And nothing's too good for my friend Franzibald and his friends.
Oh, Franzibald will definitely get a little bit of this tonight. Freya says, I thank you so much, and I will ponder everything you've told me while I enjoy this lovely bottle of wine.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else doing anything before bedtime?
Lord Montgomery would like to make sure Nigel's aware that he likes his slippers warmed in the morning with his morning whiskey.
Of course, and would the master like a drink before bed?
Perhaps something to see me off. Something light, perhaps some brandy.
You probably point out that the pillows look a little bit lumpy, and Nigel, do something about that. And Nigel, you go over and fluff the pillows and make sure that the sheets are all correct. And you've got his silk pajamas out. And oh yeah, does Lord Montgomery gonna have some of that fancy wine before bed?
Well, if we're having wine, I don't suppose I'd say no.
You put on your dressing gown over your pajamas. You brought like a whole, wardrobe full of clothes here. It's like a 3-day trip or something. And you've got like a month's worth of clothes. And so you've got your silk pajamas, your dressing gown. You probably put your evening monocle in, and got your nice house slippers on. And you guys meet in maybe Franzibald's room to enjoy that wine. And he thanks you all for coming to Falun and hopes that we can find out what's going on in this town, that he has his concerns about what might be causing this. And he turns his head and he looks to the west, which is the direction of the mine. And he says, it all started with that mine. Perhaps we can look into that tomorrow as well.
Can I ask?
Yes.
How long ago did they start that mine?
Oh, that mine's been going for probably 100 years.
Ah, okay.
In fact, that young man that died 40 years ago, the mine was old back then. So it's been several generations.
So, can you tell me how long ago the Troubles started?
Oh, maybe 6 months, a year, I think.
That's interesting. I need to take Blitz out for a last walk, so I'm going to go and do that.
Does Crust need to go? Do you have like a little place for Crust to relieve himself, Ilsa, or
Oh, he's fine going
you
outside.
borrow one of Montgomery's top hats and put a little sand in it?
Oh, I wouldn't dare.
How drunk is our new friend getting?
Franzibald? He is very
Yeah.
drunk. Very drunk. He's slurring his words. Cheeks are bright pink.
Freya's like, I think she'll probably spear another pastry on her sword and like
Ooh.
dangle it in front of her.
He claps his
and
hands together and let's do it blindfolded. And he covers his eyes and tries to nibble at it.
She's like, now you can have this if I can take a look at that necklace that you have.
Ooh. Okay, give me a manipulation roll. It's gonna have one penalty die.
Oh no. Okay. How do you do the penalty die?
So I think you do when it does it if it has. In fact, I'm not sure. Let me look. I don't usually roll the dice on here. Let's see. Manipulation. If you do a bonus die, if you put -1, or just take away like one of the dice from either empathy or manipulation, when it brings up that little secondary rolling thing. See if that will take one away.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that did it, and you got it still.
Haha.
He says, "Oh, I don't think that I can, but perhaps just for a moment." And he points over to the side table in his room, and you see the green stone and the chain there. But just for a moment, until I finish this pastry. Mind you, I'm a quick eater, and he just starts nibbling like a little squirrel, filling his cheeks full of acorns or something. So you've got about 30 seconds to examine this.
I think Freya also like looks at Nigel and kind of just like nods real quick at the wine bottle to be like, one more cup, as she like runs over to the next one.
Nigel, do you fill Franzibald's cup?
Of course, Master. This will help you sleep and give you a good rest.
You know what would help is someone were to rub my shoulders.
Ooh.
Oh, why? All you had to do was ask. I'm
Thank you.
quite talented.
As you lean into his shoulders, oh, you have found all of my tension. And he's definitely distracted. You've got a little bit more time here. Freya, if you want to take a little more time looking at this.
Yes.
When you pick it up, there is a little vibration that you feel. Like it's hard to describe. It's not. I mean, it's an inanimate object. It's a green gemstone, not quite an emerald, but a very vibrant green. But you can feel something in here, and it's almost like it's engaging the sight. That the sight is helping you to feel this. Even though you're not seeing it, you're feeling it, and you suspect that if you did not have the sight, you wouldn't feel this. That perhaps this is something supernatural.
Oh, interesting. Is there anything else that she can kind of glean from it just by holding it, or is it just kind of that?
The chain looks to be very ordinary. I mean, it's gold, ordinary gold chain. There's nothing decorative about it, and then it's just gold that holds the stone. 4 little claws, almost looks like dragon's claws, holding the stone. And the stone's about the size of a robin's egg. It's a small egg, but it's this thing's probably incredibly valuable. But it's you're not surprised that this is why that this stone gave him the sight, because you do sense that there is likely not a Vaesen in the stone, but that it is tied to Vaesen.
Okay. And I think while he is probably, in his shoulder rub bliss era, I think Frey is just like, and who did you say you got this necklace from again?
Oh, I found it. Yes, oh, that feels so good. I found that stone, if you must know. Oh, lovely, lovely. It was, an old mine, not unlike the one here in town. Oh, what was the name? Abisko. The Abisko mine, yes. That's the place. Oh. And you have not heard of the Abisko mine. But that's a term that he does let out.
Okay. Well, I think Freya will put the necklace back where she found it, and just join everyone again.
Franzibald puts his hand up on Nigel's hand and pats it a few times. Thank you, young man. Oh, you've made an old man very relaxed and ready for bed. If you will all forgive me, I think it's time I close my eyes for a few hours.
Of course, you've done so much traveling.
Yes,
It's almost 6 o'clock.
It takes it out of a man. Now, let us have breakfast here in the morning, and then we will go to the church, and then perhaps we can go investigate other parts of the town. I, for one, would like to see the copper mine here. It seems that the story of this 40-year-old death, it would make a great tale for one of my forthcoming books.
Agreed.
And you all head off to bed. And
not Dagmar.
Not Dagmar. Yes. What does Dagmar do?
Yeah, she's trying again. She's going to go out and just she's looking for people who are down on their luck, or maybe from the wrong side of the tracks, getting up to mischief in the night.
How far?
So she can look after herself.
How far are you willing to walk?
Probably. She's quite happy to stroll around in the night. That's a natural environment for her. So,
so the inn is over. I don't know if you can see my ping on the map. Let me make that darker. See if it'll let me change the color on that. Let's do like a bright red. So yeah, the inn is over here. Oh, it didn't change. Sorry.
I think she would know. The others would probably worry if she was gone for more than, say, an hour or so.
Right.
But they're used to her being off out in the streets, so she might go, half an hour or so. She might just wander up and down, maybe looking down some alleys, seeing if she can find anyone sleeping in a doorway or someone creeping around or something like that.
Excellent. Go ahead.
She got Blitz with her, so
give me a roll. With Blitz is going to give you a bonus die on this. You can do, if you're actively searching for something, it might be vigilance, but if you're just keeping your eyes open as you're walking, I would say observation. Are you specifically looking for like a vagrant or?
yeah.
Perfect. So then give me a vigilance.
Okay. Oops, hang on, I was just going to do observation. Can I use my +2?
Yes.
That would give me a +3. Because I think this is really
you
important.
You had the bonus die for Blitz?
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay.
You walk for about 45 minutes, and then you see someone leaning against the side of a building, and there's 2 bottles on the ground next to him. One is empty, and one is about half filled. And he's got his hand just resting near the bottle. And he looks like he's definitely drunk. He's maybe drifting in and out of consciousness as he's lying there. And it's a chilly night. He looks like he's probably cold. This looks to be an older man, maybe 50 or 60. I say that, I'm going to be 50 this year, so he looks like a young man of 50.
Can I use my talent as well?
Yes.
Once per mystery, I can make a manipulation test to create an NPC who is situated in the area and who I've met before.
Yeah.
You can decide how they've changed since I last met and what they think of me now.
Do you know this person?
Yes, if I pass.
Okay. Go ahead and make that. Got it.
Cool.
Who is this and how do you know him?
This is Eric. I only know him as Eric, and I think he comes from the city as well. So I've met him on the streets before. He got into too heavily into gambling, and he lost his family and his home. But he's quite a nice guy. He's just like really ineffective in the world. And I pop Blitz up. I go, Eric, God, fancy seeing you here. And I say to Blitz, hop up. And I get him to hop up on his lap. And so he's got a warm dog to cuddle for a little while because I don't have anything he could wear or anything like that.
Blitz does like the little circle on his lap and then sits down. And he knows Eric and just absolutely comfortable with him. And Eric's hand absentmindedly comes up and begins to stroke Blitz. And his eyes begin to focus. Blitz? You were a long way from home. And then he sees Dagmar. And you see, takes a moment for that recognition. And then you see a look of shame on his face. He's like, no, you shouldn't see me like this. I'm sorry, lass. This is not
crouched down beside I crouched down and so that I haven't put my bottom on the ground, but I've kind of folded my hands over and I'm resting on my sort of with my knees up. And I'm kind of like, Eric, the world is harsh to us all. And this town, it seems a very cruel town. How did you end up here, and what are you experiencing here?
I came here seeking work. The mine reopened recently, and I threw in my lot, but you know my problems. Whatever I earned, I ended up losing at the table in the mine, and I was kicked out, and I have not money to go anywhere else, so I wander here and I find bottles in the trash, and whatever I can get out of them I dilute with river water, just so there's enough to drink. It takes a lot to get drunk these days. I rely upon the kindness of others, and you can see him mulling over the idea of asking you for money, and then he shakes his head, no.
If I had any, I would give him some, but I've got none. I did, when I walked out of the cafe, I did grab buns. Remember how I grabbed some of Dagny's? Yep. So I have a somewhat squashed, it's probably got a little bit of dog hair on it, but like some sort of a sweet bun that I pull out of my pocket and sort of brush off a little bit and hand over to him. I'm so sorry. I don't really have anything else to give you, but I've got this bun.
You can see how dirty his hands are. They're covered in grime, coal dust, and the stark color of the pastry against that blackened hand it pulls at your heart to see that your friend has sunk into this state. But he receives that with gladness, as though this is one of the best things to happen to him in quite some time. And he breaks a piece off and gives a piece to your dog and shares it with him. And then he breaks off a piece and he hands it to you.
And I, of course, take it and eat it and share with him. Have you seen anything, like, you've been out here on the streets, have you seen anything creepy or strange? Or is there anybody that you particularly have found to be untrustworthy?
That Reverend. There's something about him. I went there for aid. He would give me none. He told me that I served the devil, and I think perhaps he's right. Gambling is the devil's game. And until I can atone for my sins, I am not welcome in his house, or so he says. And so I sit here and I ponder and I wonder, is today my last day? Is today the day I go and lay my body across the rail at night, waiting for the early morning train? Or is today the day that I weigh my pockets down with stones and leap into the Tiskin?
This is a very dark conversation to be having with a child, I would say. But did you see anything in the mine when you were working there? It has this reputation that the problems in the town are coming from the mine.
Well,
But
the miners, they're not like the townsfolk. The miners are an old, superstitious lot. This town, they're under the sway of that reverend. Everyone in town, it seems, follows his teachings. He's very strict. He says it's the true form of Christianity. I believe he even flogs himself. That he wounds himself to bear the pains that Christ bore before his death. Such things are madness, if you ask me. The miners, they believe that these lands were once the home of older things, natural things, and they're still here. And they're very angry. And that mine, I have seen fire in that mine. Flames. And it's not uncommon. They do use fire in mining. Sometimes they'll use that to burn through areas or to smelt ore, but no, this flame sprung from nowhere. And you must know, I drink so that I do not dream. I pray you do not dream tonight.
I sometimes dream of a man who became a wolf. And sometimes I like that dream. But I'm not sure that you're liking your dreams.
No. It is a dream that I'm being watched by something dark. A child, not unlike yourself. Innocent and sweet, yet filled with malice and anger. But it's just a dream. It's just silliness.
Well, my friends and I find that sometimes these things are not silliness, but perhaps do not fill your pockets with rocks yet, because we may be able to help you more. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Can you tell me anything else about the town? That, like, they say that animals have died, and I sort of, reach out and pat Blitz, and I go, I don't want anything to happen to Blitz.
I worry about all the animals in town. There are strange things happening. Oh, I worry that something might happen to poor Blitz here. It would be tragic, indeed. Blitz, he's a lovely little fellow.
Yes.
Most of the things that have perished have been wild creatures, but it's just a matter of time before these young ones, these domesticated beasts, fall prey to it as well.
And do you think the harm is coming from the mine or from the reverend? I kicked one in the shins once. It was very satisfying.
And he lets out a chuckle and a laugh, and his face just lights up. Good for you, lass, good for you. Perhaps the one here needs a good kick as well, but a little higher up, if you get my meaning.
I will pass that on to my friends who are a little taller than I.
Yes. This man here, he's going to cause trouble. He's already caused it. He is set upon burning a witch at the stake. Don't let him know of your gift. You'll be the first to burn. Get out while you can.
I will make sure I stay with my strong friends. But if you hear anything, could you come to the inn and let us know? You could ask for Sir Montgomery, and if you do, I'm sure if you have some good information for him, I'm sure he could help you in more ways than I can.
Yes, I will. Thank you. And he picks himself up off the ground. And he says, look, not unlike how Jesus told the lame person to pick up his bed and rise, I've done the same. Oh, now I sound like that reverend.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't want to have to kick you in the shins.
No. Come, let me walk you back to the inn. The walk will do me good. Perhaps it will clear my mind.
I hold his hand as we walk back. I know his hand's dirty, but I feel like nobody has given him any contact
No
in
one
a long
has.
time.
He has not had human touch outside of being shoved or probably his legs kicked in weeks, and he is grateful for that touch. In fact, he has a very firm but gentle grip on your hand, and you get the feeling that he doesn't ever want to let it go. And he walks you back to the inn and pauses a moment and says, "Thank you, Dagmar. Thank you." Ooh, yeah, give him a job in the castle.
I'm not in that position, but I hope that we can do something for him.
Yeah, if you can get him out of Falun, that would be one of the best things for his mental health as well as his physical health. A job in the castle would be awesome. He maybe not a butler, but I'm sure he would be like a handyman or something. He would be great.
Yeah. That'd be great.
He bids you a good night and gives your pup a nice little scratch behind the ears, gives him a kiss on the forehead, and you can see the little bit of grime marring the fur, and he tries to wipe it with his hand, and it's just getting worse, and he looks at you with an apologetic look. "Sorry about that. The next time you see me, I'll be in better shape."
Be glad to see it, and I kiss him on the cheek, and I don't wipe my mouth until I go in the door and close the door.
Oh, very sweet. As you head upstairs, you find that for sure, Lord Montgomery is asleep. You probably hear him snoring in his room. Probably dueling banjo-like snores between Franzibald and Montgomery just across the hallway. It's like in stereo. You hear this rattling, thunderous snores. Is she asleep?
I think I would have waited for Dagmar to arrive back.
Well, you're in your room waiting for that. You see, again, the dress that Franzibald bought you, this horrid plum dress with big poofy shoulders, and it's like you would never be caught dead in this thing. But he said, "Oh, it's the height of fashion." And there's even like a great big hat with a big peacock feather in it. And
oh, wow.
Absolutely not Ilsa at all. And so you wait for Dagmar. Freya, what about you? Is Freya asleep or is Freya waiting up?
She could wait up too.
Okay. Nigel, are you asleep?
It would be improper to go to bed before, all of the party is accounted for.
Perfect. Dagmar, you arrive back and you see that the ladies have stayed up as well as Nigel to ensure that you are safe and well. They wouldn't sleep if they didn't know you were back from your walk. Do you tell them about your meeting with Eric?
Absolutely tell them everything about my meeting with Eric.
Do either of you have anything to say to Dagmar when you hear about her encounter with Eric and about his experiences in town?
Nigel would just say, "Oh, well, goodness, I would be sure to let the Lord know. Thank you, and well done."
Thank you so much, and thank you for waking up for me. It makes me feel very loved and like I'm part of the family. I did think it was very interesting about him saying that he saw fire in the mine and that the dark child comes into his dreams, which was a little bit scary for me, but it makes, considering what we found last time we went on a mystery, it makes me wonder about poor Emily's dead baby and this dark child that comes into his dreams, and maybe we could find out if it's coming into more people's dreams.
Oh, insightful. This seems a little on the occult side. If Ilsa, would you share what you might think?
Oh, well, it definitely sounds unusual to me, and I believe the best course is to start an investigation.
Yes, that a lot of this seems to revolve around the mine.
Oh, yes.
And the Reverend.
And the Reverend, yes. He was talking about humble, but I did not see very much humble behavior from him.
No, I do not trust him at all.
My friend Eric suggested we kick him a little bit higher than the shins if we get a chance, so we'll keep that in mind.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd love to, on behalf of the Church of England.
Feels very doable.
And Freya's probably thinking, you know, I got this knife. I could probably just stick it with it.
We could do something with that.
With everyone back in the inn, you head to your respective rooms and begin to doze off. And Dagmar, you're probably the last to fall asleep. You've had a very eventful evening, and as you begin to drift off, sleep eludes you for a moment, but then you find that blissful moment where everything just settles down. In the middle of the night, you suddenly awaken from a nightmare that you've had about a young child with dark, gaping black holes instead of eyes, smoke rising from their head as they start to whimper. After a couple of moments, you're able to collect yourselves. The room is dark, but there's enough light coming in from the moon that you can see. And then you see this in the corner of your room. Hidden in the shadows, the dark silhouette of someone or something is watching you. A strong smell of burning flesh fills the room, and for a moment it's hard to breathe. Give me either an empathy or a logic roll. This is a fear test. You made it. So you will not wake up with a mental condition. Had you failed, you would have a mental condition when you wake up. Can you even get back to sleep after that happened?
Sorry, this is all of us, right?
No, this is just Dagmar. She sees this.
Oh, sorry. Well, I that was my roll.
Oh, that was your roll. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I just saw the dice. Yeah, so Dagmar, give me either empathy or logic as you see this.
Hearing that it was Montgomery. Okay. What am I giving?
Either empathy or logic as you see this child in the room looking at you, the silhouette of a child. No.
No empathy, just
no.
fear.
Perfect. So you are not able to sleep. You close your eyes for a moment. When you open them, the child is gone, but you still smell that brimstone stench in the room, and you're unable to sleep. And when
I sit up in bed hugging my dog.
And your dog was just going nuts when
Yeah,
you were having
it
this.
would have done.
Yeah, you suspect this was not just a dream, but something actually happened. Now, when we sleep, you will restore all your conditions, except for you will probably maintain frightened, Dagmar.
Yes, I already had frightened, so now I'm more frightened.
Perfect. And then, why don't we take our break here? We've been going for about 90 minutes. This is a great place to take a break. Let's meet back up in about 7 minutes or so.
Cool.
Alrighty.
With two-handed sword, I'm headed to the mountains to rescue the princess from the evil goblin. I ignore all the signs of impending danger because I'm a fighter and not some crappy ranger. 47 hit points and a high dexterity, 17 for strength. Kobolds are afraid of me, crafted from numbers. it doesn't make much sense to me. I think that the DM might be out to get me. A hero in armor and truth. Bards tell my legacy. The flame of my torch illuminates the enemy. I win in a battle, hewing foes asunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. The bodies pile up before me, the corpses I plunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to immutable paper. And while in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice in my fate is unspoken. I drink my last potion. I charge through the open gate. The flame of the dragon. Try to seal my awful fate with a handful of dice. 5 times I roll 20. The dragon goes down. The DM will bloody. I leave with the princess. A satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to immutable paper. While in real life,
All right, I am back. Whenever everyone else is, we'll resume.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
Yay. There's
I'm
Tina.
here. Hey, can
Excellent.
I run that back a little bit? Because I
Yes.
think Dagmar would have gone and jumped into Ilsa's bed.
Oh, perfect. So after you were unable to fall back asleep?
Yeah. She's afraid of she admires Freya very much, but I think she's probably more likely to go and jump into bed with Ilsa. Ilsa's good at scary stuff.
She can handle this. Maybe she has an explanation. The hardest thing you have ever done in your life is to get out of that bed and cross that floor over to the other room. It's almost like when you're a kid and you have to, as soon as you turn off the lights, you got to run and jump in your bed before the thing under the bed reaches out its hand and grabs you. And once you're under the blankets, you're somehow magically okay. And so getting out and crossing that floor is absolutely terrifying to you. And when you hit Ilsa's bed and climb in, you are trembling. And Ilsa, do you even wake up?
I think I would wake up. Yeah, I'm a very light sleeper.
Crest probably opens one lazy eye and just closes it again. Not much of a guard cat.
Dagmar, what's wrong?
Remember I told you about Eric saying he had the dream of the child? I don't know if I dreamt it, though. I was sure that it was real. It was a child, like with smoking holes for eyes, and there was the smell of burning, and it stood in the doorway, and then it was gone. But I don't know if it left or what, because I had to pull my blankets up over my head.
Oh, well, that sounds very scary, but I don't see anything now, so you're safe with me.
You can't smell any burning or anything?
No, I don't see or smell or hear anything.
Okay. Pulls the blankets over my head in Elsa's bed as well, hugging the dog.
Can I tell you a story, Dagmar?
Yes, tell me a story.
Well,
Is
you
it a
see-
scary story?
Oh no, it's a story with a happy ending.
I would love that.
Well, it's about the day I found Crust. You see, I have a very troubled past, and I was much like yourself. I was sort of a scrappy kid, and I was on the streets, but I found a group and they took me in, and this group, it wasn't a very nice group, and they did horrible things. And this one time, they were trying to hurt Crust. They hurt animals many times, and they were trying to hurt Crust, and I just felt this calling inside me to save him, to save this animal. And so I did, and I took him away from that group, and he's safe now, and I keep him safe, just like I'll keep you safe now.
I've met people like that on the streets too, but I was never unlucky enough to become involved with them.
And I'm very glad you didn't.
No,
So
I would not have been that strong, I don't think.
this can actually count as a recovery roll.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if she
Yeah.
could, like...
That's actually really
Oh,
good.
brilliant. Thank you, Miss Pig.
Oh, you're welcome.
So to do the recovery, you can do a scene. And you describe a scene together with one or several other PCs to recover from 2 conditions, except for broken, once per day. So this will help you to recover from being frightened. That is excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And you are, after a time, you begin to drift off, and you feel safe here in this room and comforted for the time being. And sleep does eventually find you. Now, Nigel, you're probably the first awake. You've got this internal clock that you're up at 4 a.m. because you've got to get the house ready, and you haven't slept in a morning in 20 years. When you rise, even though you're not the servant of this place, what do you do?
Yeah, I think it's, the Lord here. It kind of supersedes any other authority, so he would set to his usual routines in the kitchen first, preparing a little meal for everybody, but also, of course, a nice drink, the morning drink, and the warming of the Lord's slippers, and his just, the usual.
When you go into the kitchen, you see there's already someone there, and they are getting bread ready to bake. It's a young girl. Got a picture here, and she introduces herself as Lisa, and says, yeah, there's no need for you to be here in the kitchen. I can take care of all of this. Just tell me what you need.
Oh, you are too kind, darling, but the Lord is a very particular man. Believe me, it's taken me some years to get used to his specifications.
Oh, well, don't let me stand in the way. If you don't want to do this, I'm happy to do it for you, but I understand what you're saying. And please do what you must, and we'll see to it that your lord is well taken care of. If you need to know where anything is kept in the kitchen, don't hesitate to ask me. And give me an observation roll, if you would, Nigel.
Okay.
Give a bonus die on this, too, if you don't make it. Oh, you made it, so it didn't matter. You, with your astute eye, with a mind for, checking for dust and things like that, one of the first things you notice is there are muddy footprints in this kitchen, and you look down and Lisa is barefoot, and there's mud kind of crusted on her feet.
Right. That is bizarre. He was going to say something, but noticing this, I think he very pointedly walks over to something he can kind of like sweep it up with, not even, really cleaning it, but sort of being like, what is this? What are you doing?
She looks down and sees you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't own shoes. I'll get some before the first snow, though. Sorry about that." And then she'll crouch down and begin to wipe at it with a towel.
Oh, forgive me. I do not mean to neglect your hospitality. I greatly admire your offered aid. This is a fairly fine establishment. It's and then he just set off to his work because he's bad at lying, and he's definitely lying.
Well, give me an inspiration roll. Got it. Nice. You might recall that some comments were made about Reverend Brasilius being very strict, and perhaps someone even suspected maybe he even flogs himself or does other sorts of punishments as an act of piety. And you know that many times that some religious sects, which is basically mostly just Christians, that do this, but sometimes they go on long walks barefoot, or they'll walk over sharp stones, or walk with pebbles in their shoes. They'll do things to kind of irritate themselves, and that physical discomfort is supposed to remind them of spiritual growth. And you suspect that maybe this is what she is doing. Maybe she owns shoes, but she's just not wearing them for perhaps religious purposes. Walking through the cold mud barefoot for that purpose. But you're not positive, but you think that's very likely.
Curious. He definitely prefers the way we do things over in good old England. He wouldn't say that, of course, as he sets to doing his routine.
Absolutely. Excellent. Who gets up next? I'm going to say it's probably Freya. I think Lord Montgomery's probably up last. Freya, you get up next. You maybe smell the baking bread. Do you wait until someone comes to get you, or do you head down into the common room? It's probably 5 o'clock by now. Nigel has returned with some repast for Lord Montgomery whenever he chooses to get up. And maybe you smell the smell of coffee coming up from the kitchen.
Yeah, I feel like she would probably wander down and grab some coffee.
And you see Lisa there as well, and she directs you to have a seat, and she'll bring you out a small pot of coffee or a simple cup if you would like, and she can have some eggs prepared for you shortly. She tells you that the breakfast buffet will not be open for another hour, but that she can get you anything that you need.
Oh, yes, eggs would be wonderful. And if you don't mind, where are your shoes?
Oh, sorry about that. I know it's not exactly hygienic, but, I sleepwalk sometimes, and I must have been sleepwalking this morning and forgot to put my shoes on and just sleptwalked my way here to work. It's happened before. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, do you ever sleepwalk anywhere fun? Sleepwalking to work sounds terrible.
It is. It's a nightmare, I'll tell you. No, in fact, sometimes I have found myself, I'll wake up and I'm in the mine of all places, or out in the woods, or, you know, I suppose work is probably one of the safest places. I could walk right into the Tisken or the Varpen and no one would find me.
That's true. Where in the mine have you awoken?
Fortunately, it was near the entrance, but judging by the state of my clothes, I think I had gone in quite far, but I don't have any recollection of it.
Oh my. And have you been sleepwalking your whole life?
No, just the last couple of years. Maybe 3-4 years.
Perhaps around the time your new holy man came to town?
Oh, actually before that, I'm afraid.
Oh, before that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came here maybe a few months after I came here. I predated him here. There was a time in my life, and you realize she's not old, but that this must have happened when she was probably an early teenager, when something happened to me and I lost all my memories, and it took me some time to remember who I was, even. And I came here and started up a life for myself, and slowly those memories are coming back, but I suspect that's why I'm sleepwalking. Perhaps my old memories are trying to return, or trying to teach me something.
Oh, perhaps. Is it too personal if I ask what the event was?
Well, frankly, I don't remember. I woke up out in the wilds, in the woods, and I was covered in blood. And I didn't remember what had happened, just bits and pieces of my life. I've not even been able to find my family. I don't know where I'm from.
Well, I happen to be a skilled researcher and would love to help you at any point if you need my services.
Oh yes, that would be splendid. Perhaps when I'm off work tonight, we can talk more. I would love to find out who my real family is.
Yes, and I would love to help you and perhaps also find some shoes.
Oh, shoes would be good. If I'm being honest, my feet are quite cold.
It is chilly outside.
It's going to get worse when the snow begins to fall.
Oh, does it do that often?
Well, only in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems to go all winter long, so it should start any day now, and we'll have a thaw sometime in the spring.
Well, we will find those shoes as quickly as we can.
Yes. Well, I think I've got them at home. I just didn't have time to go back and get them before I started work. I should just keep a pair here. This has happened before, you see.
Yes, that might be a good idea, but I can start the eggs and start the preparation for the buffet if you want to run home and grab your shoes.
Would you? That would be wonderful.
Of course.
Will you be sure to feed Dagny's dog as well? And she points to a little food dish over near the kitchen door.
Yes. What does the dog usually eat?
Mostly scraps. Every now and then we'll put a little bit of fresh fish or some chicken in there. Just make sure there's no bones. And he'll eat whatever he's given. He's quite voracious, you see.
Yes, as dogs are wont to be. I will do that for you.
Yes, thank you. And she says, I'll be back in 15 minutes. And she steps outside, and you can hear her running as she pads off down the street to go and retrieve her shoes. Do you do anything in the kitchen while you're here by yourself before I wake up the next person?
Yeah, I mean, she will start helping with the breakfast buffet, but she'll probably also look around and see if there's anything, like, unusual or, just any kind of... This might be actually where her investigation role comes in handy.
A little bit of snooping, maybe?
Yeah, she's snooping. We're here. We're alone.
Yeah.
So both dice 2.
Yeah,
Right?
add 2 to it.
Ripped off.
Oh,
No.
do you want to push
Oh.
that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No. So you'll take
Okay.
a mental condition. You do, since you're using your advantage, you're still going to find something. You find, or actually, what you find is Dagny. She comes in and says, "Oh, you're not Lisa. What are you doing?"
I am helping Lisa. She sleptwalked here with no shoes, so
Oh,
I
that
sent her back
girl.
to grab. Yes, apparently it happens often.
That girl has spent a lot of time with the miners lately. I worry. She's unmarried, she's without a family, and my dear Brasilius seems to disapprove of her spending time with a bunch of men.
Oh, does she? What do they do together?
The women and the men? Oh, you are innocent
No.
indeed.
Does she play cards with the miners?
Oh,
Like,
no,
did a more?
she goes and she gets in their way. She's fascinated by that mine. She's been found there many times, and sometimes they'll march her right back here and say, keep her away from the mine. But she continues to go there.
It doesn't seem to be voluntary, though. She said she sleepwalks there.
Yeah, I don't think it's by choice. I think it's, well, Father Brasilius, he is worried about Lisa, that perhaps she is what's brought the darkness to town.
Does he suspect that she is the witch?
I think so. Honestly, I'm a little frightened of him. I respect him tremendously, but all he has to do is point the finger of accusation at me, and perhaps something would happen to me, even though I've done nothing. It's staggering, the power that man has over the townsfolk. Give me a manipulation roll, Freya.
Okay. Oh, so we're in full witch hunt territory out here.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Wow. Oh, wait. I think I still had my one taken. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You got it. The Reverend, his wife, despite being young, can't seem to give him a child. Their firstborn died after 3 days outside the womb. Poor thing. And then she leans forward and whispers, "He refused to bury it. Instead, he burnt it. Because he believes the devil hides in all of us. That's how devoted he is. He's the only one who can save us."
Oh, fascinating.
You haven't seen my dog, have you? He wasn't on my bed when I woke up.
No, she asked me to prepare food, but I have not seen a little dog running around.
Vixen. And there's no answer, and she goes and dumps some food into his bowl. Oh, this will get him coming, and still nothing.
Oh,
Well, he's probably off hunting something. He'll be back. Do let me know if you find him, though. I hate to start my morning without our little kisses.
Oh, yes, the best way to wake up.
Yes, the best breath, of course, comes from dog kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will take over from here if you like to go and make yourself at home. There's no need for you to do Lisa's work. She should be along shortly. And indeed, just a few moments later, you hear the huffing and puffing and padding of shoed feet as Lisa comes to the kitchen door and opens it. Her cheeks are bright pink, and she's got a little sweat coming down her forehead. But you see she's got some lovely leather heeled boots on. And she looks a little embarrassed to see Lisa there. "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope this was okay." And Dagny says, "Yes, of course. Everything's fine. Please resume your duties and let our guest be a guest for some time." And Lisa gives Freya an appreciative look and takes hold of the spatula and the frying pan and begins to fry up eggs and kindly and playfully shoos you out of the kitchen.
And Freya will just nod and go drink some coffee.
Nice. Up next is probably Ilsa and Dagmar. Well, actually, up first would be Well, Crust was up. I would say Ilsa is up first. I think Dagmar's probably still sleeping quite peacefully.
And I will let her sleep. I won't wake her up when I awake.
Blix probably opens his eyes and perks up his head and looks at you. Crust probably gives Blix a little bit of a glare and then turns his head, and Blix just whimpers and puts his chin down.
The only being that Blix is afraid of.
Yeah, but it's Crust.
Yeah.
What if Crust is the witch and they burn Crust at the stake?
Oh no.
Do you head down and leave Dagmar to rest a little bit longer?
Yes, I will.
When you head down, you see that Freya is already at the table. You can hear Nigel busily making his bed and redoing the layout of the room so that it's more appropriate for comfort, and doing whatever he needs to do to busy himself before Lord Montgomery wakes up. Anything that you want to do this morning?
I don't think so. I think I'll just have some breakfast.
As you step down, Dagny comes out with platters of food, setting them on the table, and you're welcome to help yourselves. And there's fruit and eggs and sausages and pastries and cookies and biscuits and tea and coffee and milk and cheese and bread and butter and jam and anything else that you might like is there. I don't think I forgot anything. And you have a lovely repast. And then Dagmar, you wake up, and at first you feel good. You slept well. The memories of that dream and experience have all but faded. Then you realize you're not in your room, and you have a moment of panic, but then you see Crust licking himself, and you calm. And as you get up, do you go back to your room to get changed? What do you do?
Yeah, I've got my big white voluminous night dress on, so I go back to my room and I get changed into some of Ilsa's cast-offs, and I
There's
come
a big
downstairs.
purple dress in your room with pointy shoulders.
No,
Oh yes.
I put it on. It hangs on me like a sack. It's beautiful, and I do some swirls in it.
Get tangled up in your legs.
Yeah, and then I go downstairs. I want to talk to the others about the dream that I had, which sounded the same as Eric's dream. So, did I just dream it because he told me about it, so he put that in my mind, or was it a dream, or was it real, and so on? So,
This might be a good question for Ilsa, as an occultist.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Ilsa?
Well, for starters, of course I believe Dagmar in anything she says. I do have a talent that I could probably use. Let me see. So if we do think this is the Reverend's dead child that is coming to you in these dreams, I could possibly contact him, and we could see, why he's plaguing people with these dreams of himself.
cool. Now, Freya heard more information about that he burnt the child, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Freya share that.
Yeah, she's definitely sharing that, but only when it's like just the three of them, not while people are coming in and out to like serve food.
Do you want to do this ritual here in the dining room or somewhere more private?
I think for sure somewhere more private.
Yeah. Have a seance at breakfast.
Right?
Perfectly normal in the castle, but perhaps not here.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do it when the others are there? Or
I
just
think-
the three ladies? Doesn't look like witchcraft at all if you do it in the dining room.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I think maybe I would wait for Nigel and Lord Montgomery. They would probably want this information as well.
Well, almost as on cue, Lord Montgomery awakens with a little bit of a snort, rolls over, lifts his leg. There's the obligatory flatulence of an old man. gets out of bed, sits up on the edge of the bed. Nigel, I'm awake. And Nigel rushes in and dresses him and combs his hair and powders his collar and gets out his little makeup kit and covers up any age spots that have shown up and does his best to pamper him. It takes a good 45 minutes to get him ready. It's like, fueling up a fighter jet. Takes a whole crew, but Nigel's got it down to a single man. And as you get Montgomery ready, he just patiently sits through all of it. It's perhaps the best part of his day as he gets ready to tackle whatever experiences life might have. But eventually, as you head downstairs, you see the three women, and then you see that Franzibald has likewise come downstairs, and he's a little bit hungover. He drank way too much of that fine wine last night. You see him kind of holding his head, a little bit of a headache, definitely dehydrated, and he's like, I'll just have water with my coffee, and no alcohol for me today. He chuckles, but I will have some pastries, and he gets a little plate full of pastries ready for himself there. Lord Montgomery, how did your night go? What do you have to say to everyone?
Well, good to see you're all up. Slept splendidly. Yes, I had some wonderful dreams back in my good days in the cavalry. Glad to see you're all looking well, and I'm ready for my full English breakfast so that we can get the day started with.
They may have difficulty procuring some of the items. Blood sausage, no problem. Tomatoes are fine. Mushrooms are fine. Eggs are fine. The fried bread, they like their bread baked. If you ply your charms, perhaps you can get Lisa to fry you some bread if you choose to. That would take a manipulation roll, as you maybe look at your breakfast and say, no, this will not do. You want to make that roll?
Yes, certainly, and I will take out my money clip and pull out a few of those Swedish dollars that I've brought along with me and hand them off. Perhaps this will help you to find the proper ingredients for my next breakfast.
Ooh, add a bonus die to this roll. Yep, absolutely. She will come back with, Swedish poundies. She takes them, her eyes grow large. Oh, yes, thank you. And she will go and fry up your bread ASAP. As you are having your breakfast, you see Dagny looking around kind of concerned. She's got a look of concern on her face. She comes out of the kitchen and she walks around the dining room. She's looking out the windows, her hands on her hips, and she kind of blows a little strand of hair out of her face and then turns and goes back into the kitchen. Nigel, you would recognize this right away, that this is a servant that is at their wit's end. And you've possibly been this way with Lord Montgomery, although you would never show it publicly, even to strangers. This is something for, you go in your room, put a pillow over your face, and swear as loud as you can so that no one can hear you. But you wouldn't stomp around looking agitated or concerned. You would keep that air of dignity about you at all times. What do you think about this, Nigel?
Yeah, he's certainly a proper English gentleman, but at the same time, everyone is a human. It can be quite a stressful position. In a way, everything relies on you, but it's not, very thankful. Although Nigel would never feel that way, of course. He's lucky to serve a fine master. Maybe he could. Wait, sorry. Who's the woman? I didn't get her name.
Dagny, the woman that runs the inn.
Right. He'll approach her. My master is awake, and I did make use of your facilities. Is there any way I can help you in this moment?
It's my dog. I don't know where Vixen has gone. He wasn't here this morning, and he's not come for his breakfast, and I've even been frying eggs with the window open so that he could smell them. It usually brings him running, but I called to him outside. I don't know where he's gone.
Oh, this will not do. You are in good hands. We have a few animals in the party, and I suspect the fellows of my group will want to aid you. This is, we all love our pets, while they are with us.
Oh, please don't let this detract from your experience here at the inn. You needn't bother yourselves. I'm sure he'll show up. He's not like this, though. I am a bit concerned.
Yes, madam, I see your concern is genuine, and I trust you. It certainly wouldn't detract, I assure you. And to make his point, I think he'd go over to our resident pet lovers and explain the situation.
As you're discussing the missing dog, there is a commotion outside the front of the inn. And the door opens, and you see a man in dirty mining clothes. He's got a little bit of a hard hat. There's a reflective plate where one would put a candle, like an old-style mining lamp on top of his head. And he is carrying a blackened and charred corpse of a small dog.
Oh, no.
And there is townspeople outside. There's disbelief, there's anger. They loved this dog. Dagny rushes in and falls to the ground. She's devastated, wailing while holding his little body. Lisa comes in and tries to comfort her. And then Reverend Bersalius parts through the crowd like Moses parting the Red Sea and uses this opportunity to preach. The Lord have mercy on our souls, for we are lost. There is an evil among us. Yes, right here. And he points his hand down at the ground at his feet. Right here. And he's looking now at the table where all of you are seated. They walk among us. One of you could be a servant sent by the devil. And you hear the townspeople, the gentle roar of anger rising begins to grow, and then several of them begin to nod in agreement. Stay vigilant, he says, and then he gives a withering glare to Ilsa. He turns and says, let us go to the church and pray for absolution. Let those who are guilty come and pray for their eternal souls. And then he marches off through the crowd, and several people begin to follow him towards the church.
Just pipe up and say, he asked us to come to help. He did.
Franzibald gives you a look.
Back.
And Franzibald, for the first time, he's got this look of maybe I've done the wrong thing. Like maybe I shouldn't have brought these people here. And then he firms his resolve and says, no, you're here for a reason. Be careful, but let's find out what's going on, and then let's get the hell out of this town.
Completely agree.
I've had quite enough of this fellow, and as he walks away, Lord Montgomery will give him a proper 2 English fingers.
The English salute. No one in Sweden probably knows what that means, but it makes... Well, Nigel would know. Nigel would probably like, oh, that's improper, but maybe then gives one in return, gives him 2 fingers up. The breakfast is pretty much ruined. The smell of charred dog is filling the room. You're probably done. Even Franzibald pushes his plate away, looking at a half-eaten cinnamon bun like he's just made a cardinal sin. Like, oh, the fact that I didn't finish that. I'm going to think about you all day long, he kind of says to himself. Do you want to follow the crowd to the church? What do you want to do? Do you want to use this opportunity to do that seance?
Yeah, I think we need to do the seance.
Yeah, that would be wise. Nigel would want to give Lord Montgomery his morning drink, of course, and of course.
Then I should likely don my suit for the day. I'm likely still in my dressing gown. It is just the morning after all.
Yes, you would want to be well dressed for a séance, wouldn't you?
Wear your best for the dead.
Ilsa, how do you do this? Lead us through it.
Well, I think we should all gather in my quarters and possibly lock the door in case anyone comes through and tries to accuse me of witchcraft.
Is it just going to be the 5 of you? Do you invite Franzibald? Do you invite Lisa? Do you invite Dagny?
Ooh, I think it's just gonna be the 5 of us.
Continue, please.
Okay, and so I set kind of a circle with all of us making up the circle, and we join hands, and maybe I sprinkle a little bit of salt, and I begin summoning this child.
Give me your roll. This is observation. And then I think you've got a gear that gives you a bonus on this, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. You've got your quartz stone pendulum. Gives you a bonus of 1 if you're using observation. So if you want to make an observation roll, you can add 1 bonus die.
Alright.
Got it. 2 successes. You may ask 3 questions.
Okay, I think my first question is going to be, who are you?
And a child's voice speaks, and it speaks with adult phrasing and sentences, but the voice is high-pitched and childlike. I am the offspring of Bruselius and Emily.
Okay, I think my second question will be, why are you here?
When I died, I was not buried in consecrated ground. I was instead burned by my father and buried in the mine. I did not find peace. I have returned, haunting the miners and the inhabitants of the town, carrying the pain and hopelessness from my mother and a burning rage towards my father.
Okay, and my third question will be, what do you want?
Revenge. For my mother sunk into a deep pit of depression due to her marriage, and hoping that I would grow up in heaven, surrounded by love and happiness instead of the hell that Emily herself has endured, she put a pillow over my face and smothered me. My father, realizing that I had died the death of a sinner, burned me. I wish to be at peace, and I seek vengeance against he that did this to me. And the room begins to smell of smoke and brimstone.
And I will say thank you. We will do what we can to help you.
Do not get in my way. Ilsa, give me a learning roll to see if you can determine what this might be. You know there is a Vaesen called a myling. Let me type the name down here. A myling is the spirit of a child murdered by its mother, often because they were born out of wedlock or because there was no social safety net for those too poor to care for their child. In the 19th century, infanticide is punishable by death, and the myling often wants to see the mother punished. However, in this case, it must be something different. The spirit haunts the place where the body was hidden, screaming, wailing, and sobbing. It often appears as a ghost of the same age as the child when it died. It can also take the physical form in the shape of a giant black bird with a human-like head. A myling can be teasing and mischievous. You know there is a ritual that can put a myling at peace. It is similar to that of a church grim. A myling finds peace when its mother is sentenced to death for murder or when the crime is otherwise solved and justice has been served. The spirit can also be put to rest by finding its body and burying it on consecrated ground and giving it someone else's name. The person who gives away her name must then be renamed. If she keeps using her own name, the myling will come to haunt her.
That was very good information.
Absolutely. How do you...
I don't want to bring Emily to so-called justice. I think we need to find the body.
Yeah, I don't know that she's necessarily at fault. I don't think she is mentally well. I wouldn't be if I were married to Edward Bruselius. The problem is that Edward, to either hide his shame or in an act of pious ignorance, burnt the body and buried it elsewhere rather than giving it a consecrated burial where the spirit could be at rest. And clearly this child, who doesn't even have a name, it was so young, this child has not forgiven the father. It does not seem to harbor ill will towards the mother. But I think the easiest means will be to make this crime known, to put Bruselius's shame in the public eye so that he can deal with those consequences, and to put this body at rest. Much of the commotion seems to have revolved around the mine. It's likely that that is where the body has been buried. It's curious that Lisa has also been going to the mine.
She doesn't remember where she was inside the mine, right?
She does not.
Could we follow her while she's asleep?
Ooh.
Keep walking, but that's probably too long. We've got like the whole day, and by then Bruselius might be wanting to burn one of us by then.
Yeah,
so.
You get the feeling there's going to be a public burning probably tonight. Where do you go from here?
Going to go and visit the mine, weren't we?
Yeah.
How long ago was the child? Did the child die? Do we know?
It was about maybe a year ago, about the same time that all the trouble started in town.
It's going to be very hard to find the body of a baby buried a year ago.
Let me take us to the copper mine. And let me grab my notes here. The mine is an enormous pit and bustling with activity. Engineers, miners, and workers move up and down the slopes with their massive tools. The mountain has been mined since the Middle Ages. Once the miners started organizing and gained political clout, the safety protocols improved. However, if you don't know your way around the area, it can be quite dangerous. It's unsettling to be inside this mine, not just because of what has happened, but you are surrounded by tons and tons of stone, knowing that it could collapse at any second and trap you in there forever. Outside the mine are several small cottages, painted in the famous red color known as Road, which is Falun Red, that lines the street and are where the miners live. Close to the entrance, there's the head engineer's house and several resting areas, and on a bench facing the mine pit sits a young woman. It's Lisa Johansson, the waitress from the inn.
Is she asleep?
Nope, she's just sitting and looking down into the mine.
Oh. Hi, Lisa.
She turns, she has a very distant gaze. She does not recognize any of you. Hello? She says.
Yes, hello. We met this morning at the inn.
Oh, yes. You sent me for my shoes. Oh.
Yes.
Look, I've come right back here. Oh dear, I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Oh, I must get back to work.
I don't think going back to town right now is the best option.
Look, I should tell you I've had strange dreams lately. I suppose that isn't to be unexpected given the circumstances. Dreams of a child. After seeing that poor dog, I felt like I needed to come here.
I know those dreams.
Have you had the same dreams?
I had the same dream, and my friend Eric had the same dream. You were looking down the mine. Is there any chance that you have an urge to walk into the mine and go somewhere?
I think that's why I came here. I think I was going to walk into the mine. I have vivid dreams of walking around the empty mine, and I think it's not just dreams. I know I do it. My feet are sometimes dirty and muddy, but don't tell anyone about this. They'll think I'm a witch.
I know. Look, that's why you shouldn't go back to town right now, because that reverend guy's on the warpath for somebody. But we could really use for you to just go where you want to go, because we've got a feeling we need to go there too.
I think I told you somewhat of how this has happened to me. I woke up by the royal bounds of old Uppsala years ago with no memory of my life. I think it's somehow tied to what's going on in this town. I don't know how, but where's that? Oh, there you are. And she looks at Franzibald. Oh, I'm glad to see you here. And she walks up and she puts her hand on his shoulder and she's looking right at his necklace. It's so good to see you. I've missed you.
Oh.
Ooh.
And he says, I've never met you in my life, girl. And she says, oh, well, it's... I mean, it's from... I've heard so much about you from Dagny, is what I mean. It's so good to see you. And I suppose I haven't missed you. I'm sorry. Yes, I could go for a walk inside the mine if you like. Shall we?
Yes. I take her hand, or like I put my arm through her arm. Do we have to go down a shaft or something? This is very adventurous.
Well, judging by how dirty I get, I think that I do end up doing a bit of climbing. And she looks at the open pit that's over here, and she says, "There's ways down there," and then I seem to recall a ladder.
Okay. Is anybody looking at us odd that we're wandering around this mine?
Yeah, there's a few miners out here, and they're looking a little curiously. One of them kind of yells out, "Are you friends of that peacock, that Bruselius? He's so weak he can't even keep his children alive. He sees the devil in everything. People follow him blindly. Fools, I say. Are you a fool?
I'm a child. Does that mean I'm a fool?
I have known many children who are fools. They listen to people blindly. They listen to parents and teachers and religious people. They do not think for themselves. Think for yourself, young one. Do not listen to this Bruselius.
I trust that person and that person and that person and that person. I point to my companions. I only trust these people, but they are not religious. But we are here to help the town and the mine.
How can you do this thing?
That's why we're here.
I can take you in the mine if you want to look around. It is very dangerous. You should not go alone.
But the grown-ups.
Would you happen to know? Have you seen Bruselius in these mines?
No, we do not let him into these mines. He is pushed away. He makes it seem like we are heathens. We give thanks to the mountain. We call her and give our thanks to her, for she gives us much livelihood. But it is more out of tradition and good luck than about believing there are other gods than the Christian one. But Bruselius, he does not see this. But the problems began after he arrived. I think he might be the devil himself. And a few other miners come up and say, No, quiet. Do not say such things. Yes. Forgive me, I've been working hard. Come, you wish to see the mine? I will take you in on a safe path.
Our friend here thinks there's something that we particularly need to see in order to help.
What is it?
Might you guide us the way she needs to go?
Do you know the way? And Lisa says, I don't think so, but I might recognize it when I arrive. He says, very well. Come, I will take you. And you begin to walk into the mine.
I put Blitz under one arm. I'm not letting him out of my sight in here.
Under your arm, it's very... he's very nervous still. It's very dark. And Lisa begins to walk around, not recognizing exactly where she's going. And you begin to slowly spread out as the mine gets a little more narrow and you have to go single file. And for a while, Franzibald is walking with Montgomery, but then when it goes single file, Montgomery goes ahead of Franzibald. It's his position to do so. And you go through this narrow part, and when Montgomery, you look back, you see Franzibald is missing. And you continue on, thinking, he probably just stopped for a rest. And then a few minutes later, you see him, and he appears from a side tunnel. And he says, "Oh, Montgomery, I got lost. Very sorry. I took a wrong turn. Glad to find you. Damn scary in here when it's all dark."
Say, how did you manage your way in the dark, good friend?
I stumbled around, and just by blind luck I saw the candlelight of that miner's helmet and walked towards it.
Lucky indeed, yes.
I needed
Nigel, would you walk behind me, please?
Yeah, I needed a comfort break, you see, and so I went into a side passage, and then I couldn't find my way back out. I went a little further than I meant to.
It's the important thing is that you found us and you're safe again. Nigel, would you keep an eye on him? Make sure he's okay.
You are a generous master, of course. I would like to keep him in one piece.
It's going to take some rolls to figure out what is going on in here. Let's have... let me have Freya. Let me have you give me a roll. This is going to be a vigilance roll as you're walking through the mine.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, you got it. Wow.
Nice.
as you're walking, you notice some footprints on the path, and they're not boot prints. These are bare footprints, and you think that's probably Lisa. This must be the way that she's gone. And you find that the path is quite circuitous. You head down the mine a stretch. You reach a point here where there's a room, and you continue on. This may be where you lost Franzibald, and this may be where you recovered him. But after a time, you begin to climb, and you climb up to here, and there's a dark tunnel that leads into a little intersection. And Lisa, when she looks down that tunnel, she freezes and says, This is it. This is where I come. I dare not take another step further.
Then yes, wait here for us, and we will investigate. But don't go back into town.
No, I will stay here.
Can I just say that Dagmar's been watching Franzibald a little bit suspiciously, because the whole thing with Lisa recognising him and him not acknowledging her, and it's made my little street kid spidey senses a bit twitchy. So I'm just watching him carefully.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there. There's probably nothing, but hey, I've got to suspect somebody.
Yeah.
So
Give me a vigilance roll.
okay.
Ooh, do you want to push that?
Yes, I'm frightened again. He seems so jolly and nice and everything, but there's just something that's not quite right.
Oh.
Nope. Okay.
So you do your best to keep an eye on him. He does not want to go in that small tunnel. He said, I don't think I'll fit. I'm too round about the middle. I'm content to stay back here. I'll keep an eye on young Lisa. Just give us a candle so that we have a light, and we'll be just fine.
I think I'll stay. I'll say, I'm scared to go in there too, and I'm going to stay. And I've got Blitz under one arm, and I've got my hand on my dagger. And I'm going to stay and watch these two.
Who goes down that tunnel?
Freya will.
Does Nigel and Montgomery?
Nigel's just kind of following Montgomery's lead, whatever he will.
Well, I think it'd be a bit unsightly for a lord, but please, Nigel, if you wish to carry on, I'll be all right. I'll manage by myself for a time.
Ooh, I am hesitant, but one would not want the lady to be, alone down there, and that would be ungentlemanly. Thank you.
What about Ilsa?
Yeah, I think I'll go with him down the tunnel.
As you head down the tunnel, it narrows down to a small point, and that's this point right here. And it then curves around to the other side. And the tunnel is mostly rock. You can see some bluish bits of copper sulfate and other minerals stuck into the rock. There's no big veins here that might be followed. Looks like that's why this mine has dead-ended here. What are you specifically looking for in here? I know you said you're looking for this child. You don't see any remains, no human remains in here.
Any ground that looks like it was disturbed?
Yeah.
Or anything that looks out of place?
Give me an observation roll.
Oh no.
Oh dang. Do you want to push it?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Shoot.
Can I
Has
also
anyone
do
won on a push yet?
Yes.
Golly.
I don't think anyone has one to push.
And I
She
will
will be
use my pendulum that gives me a bonus.
Gives you a bonus +1 to observation.
Yes.
So you pull out your pendulum and begin speaking to the spirit of that child. Lead us to your remains.
Really?
Wow. Maybe it's just not meant to be.
That's insane.
Oh my god.
You gonna push?
Yeah. I
It's
think
gonna be
I'll push
all
that.
full of conditions here.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, thank
Hey.
goodness.
You got it. It takes the pendulum. You're watching the motions, and it begins to slowly turn in a circle. And as you stop there, it seems like just below your feet must be the area where you should look. As you scuff around, it's just stone, pebbles. There's a few larger stones, but you aren't sure exactly where to look, but you're sure that this is the place.
Well, should we start digging?
That seems appropriate.
The miner is getting a little concerned. He's like, "Oh, you should not dig in here. This place is very unsafe. This is why we stopped here. The roof was. This is not a safe place to dig. I do not know that I can permit it."
Well, this has already been a grave dug. Perhaps you would have told that to the priest before.
Very well, but I'm going to back away from here. I'm going to go out with the others. I value my neck a lot more than finding bones. And he heads out, and he takes the light with him, but he hands you a candle and says, "Here, good luck."
Thank you, sir.
So we've got Ilsa, Freya, and Nigel doing the digging.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sounds about right.
I need a force roll from one of you, and you can add one bonus die if you're all helping.
I think Nigel had the best force when we looked.
On the castle.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry, I just jumped the gun there.
It worked out.
That's
Well,
okay.
we got it. So.
Yep, you got it. So you find a very large flat slab of stone, and you get your shovel under it, and you use your shovel like a lever to lift it up, and below you can see there is a small cloth sack, and it's not large. It's big enough to hold the remains of an infant. As you hold that large stone up, someone's going to have to stick their hand in there and pull that sack out. Nigel's got the shovel. Which of the two ladies is going to do that? Freya or Ilsa?
I guess Freya can.
I'll cheer you on.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. You put your hand in there. Give me an agility roll as the stone begins to slip, and you can hear the crack of wood on that shovel.
Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
Wow, well done.
You got it. You pull the sack out just as the shovel breaks and the stone slams down. And the sack it's very light. It feels like maybe it weighs up maybe 2 pounds, maybe a kilogram. It's very light, and it smells of earth and fire. And you can feel a few long bones that feel like carrot sticks. And then there's a small, it must be the skull, a small round bone. It feels as delicate as an eggshell.
Freya's gonna kind of cradle it, gently, try to protect it as much as she can. And then I think she's gonna look at the others and be like, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yes, let us. Well done.
You head out. Where do you go? You now have the body of this child.
They're heading back to us.
Yeah.
I think we need to, I think we don't want to be walking around with the body of a child in a town that's all stirred up for witch burnings. So maybe we hide it. I whisper that as they come out the hole. I can see that she's cradling something.
As you all gather around this and look at it, the miner begins to back away, and he is just absolutely terrified at what he sees. Is that
Probably.
Is that a child? A baby? Oh, and he does the sign of the cross and turns and runs.
Oh.
They will
Can
know now, yes.
Can Blix grab him by the ankle?
Ooh, give me a force roll to send Blix after him.
Is that can I use my +1
You
at
can,
this
yep,
point?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I just want him to hang on to him so we can explain to him what we're doing.
Got it.
Hey.
Blix grabs and gets tangled up in his feet, and he
And
falls
just let
down
go,
to
yeah.
the ground. Yeah,
Hang
just
onto his
ripping
pants.
and pulling at his pants, and he's screaming, "No, no, no! The devil! You are the devil!
No, no,
You killed a
No,
child!"
I ran up and it's okay. We didn't kill the child. We came to find the child. This is the source of all your problems. This is why we are here. Remember, we came to help. This child was not buried properly in a church. This child was buried by an evil man, and this is where all your problems are coming from. Please.
Give me a manipulation roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice, you got it.
Ooh.
Whose baby is this?
go.
Whose child?
It is the child of the Reverend, and we go to bury it in the graveyard where it should always have been, with reverence.
You do this now, during the daytime. He will see he is there.
That's why we need to just tuck it away quietly, because we need this to be done, or his evil will not end.
Where you want to tuck this away? Here in the mine?
No, we want to take it with us, but we just want to keep it quiet till we get it properly buried. It will stop us.
This is a
Just
matter
you-
for the police. This is not a matter for...
This is, yes, but the problems with the mine will not end if the police take the remains of the baby away. It will still be angry. We can bury it and then we will tell the story.
He's looking doubtful. Montgomery, you have served in wartime. You know that loose lips sink ships. Do you let this miner go?
Well, I think I'll look at him and say, "Oh, fellow, this is a rather important business that you likely wouldn't understand. But you have my word as a lord that this is a goodly matter that we're attending to, and that we are here to do no evil. I do not intend to harm you. However, I cannot let you stand in our way, so I need to have assurance that you will not rise, or at least give rise to any complications."
Give me a manipulation roll with 1 bonus die. You need 2 successes.
Ooh.
Do you
I
wanna
will push it.
Push that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Just exactly what you need. He says, I will give you 1 day, and then I go to the authorities. This is a terrible, terrible thing. Who has brought this evil upon this town and this mine?
It's that rather unsavory fellow, that Reverend, whatever his name is.
Bruselius.
Yeah.
That one, yes.
Very good. I will be in my home. I'm going to take a sick day. I will tell the bosses I cannot work today. I will stay there, but tomorrow morning I go to the authorities.
I help him up. I brush off all the dirt that he's now got on him, and I go, "Thank you. 1 day will be all we need."
What is your name? Perhaps I can put in a good word for you with the bosses here.
My name is Farnsik. Tell them that Farnsik is good worker. He works hard. He helps in the mine. He does not
you've done
bury
well.
babies.
No.
Oh, okay.
Very well. 1 day. Come, let us leave this place. And he takes you quickly out of the mine. Who is following directly behind this miner. Does Dagmar want to be with Blix
Lord
right
Montgomery's
behind him?
eager to get out.
So Montgomery right behind him. Then Nigel's
Yeah, I think
right next to you.
Dagmar's
Yeah, definitely.
gone back to watching Franzibald.
Okay. As you get outside the mine, it's now about midday, and you've got this bundle. It could be anything in there, but it's still, you probably don't want to be seen carrying this around, especially if it comes to light what's in there. If you're discovered to be carrying this, you could sign your own death warrant at that point. Where do you go? Where do you hide this?
I mean, where is the churchyard? Like, oh, it's right where, of course, it's right where Bruselius is, right?
Right. So let me take us back to the map of Falun. So
Before we leave, could I speak with perhaps the head engineer or someone in charge?
Yes, of course. He will take you over to his bosses as he goes in and tells them that he is sick and cannot work.
Pleasure to meet you. I'd like to say this work of yours has been excellent, especially considering that I am considering investing in this here mine of yours, as I've heard there's gold that has been found. And,
No, lies. Only copper.
Well, regardless, I've considered investing myself a few English pounds, let's say. But anyhow, for the time being, I was wondering if I could acquire perhaps some bucket or some sort of sack you use to remove the debris from the mine. Just something I could borrow.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. And he goes and fetches a little tin pail. It's very, very humble and just simple, but it's something they might put sand in to put out fires. A little sand bucket.
Excellent, Nigel, if you would. I don't want to be seen touching work equipment.
It would be unseemly, of course, my lord.
Who is
Dagmar? Perhaps we can carry our query in here.
Dagmar? Are you carrying the remains?
I will carry it like a little girl carrying a basket of Easter eggs or something, sort of skipping, as if I've got a wonderful treat.
Do you try to hide this before you, like, from the boss before you put it in the bucket?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we would wait till we're out of the office to do that, and ever so carefully do it.
Perfect. So you don't just dump it in, you set it in gently.
Set it in very reverently and gently.
Perfect.
I'm sure that's what Freya would do, and then I hold it up and carry it by the handle and sort of skip along as if I've found something lovely, or I've got my dolly in there or something like that.
Nice. Where do you go from here?
What time of day would you say it is?
It's a little bit after noon, probably 1 o'clock.
Okay. Are we on our own now as we walk along, or we've still got friends?
Well, one thing that you notice is that when you were getting this bucket and making these arrangements, you turn and both Lisa and Franzibald are not there.
Oh boy.
Damn it! I took my eyes off the prize. Something going on with those two. Well, what are we going to do? I don't think we can go to the graveyard in the daytime, but we need to. Do we need to bury this child in the consecrated graveyard? Is that what he said?
That is what you believe to be true.
Can we do that? Well, none of us are priests or anything.
No,
I guess
if we had a character that was a priest, we could. You could consecrate some ground for that, but we don't.
So we have to put him into already consecrated ground.
Yes.
Could we perhaps hide him in our rooms or somewhere very strange and unexpected? Somewhere unexpected, not in our rooms.
I don't know. I feel like it's better just to keep him with us.
Yep.
Maybe we keep him with us while we look for Franzabal and Lisa.
Yeah. Okay.
Question I
Can
have.
we get any?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're at the 3-hour mark. Do you guys want to
Yep.
stop here and pick this up next time, or do you want to go just a little bit more? I don't think we'll finish this. We probably have at least an hour left. Do you want to stop and pick this up next week, or do you want to push on for a little bit longer?
I'm okay with pausing for the night.
This is a good place
Yeah.
to pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay to pause it. It's a campaign, so we know we're carrying things on.
Right.
So, where we are, we've got the remains of this child in a pail. We have lost track of Lisa and Franzabald. We need to bury this child in the churchyard. We probably don't want to go there now, because it sounds like Bruselius is probably stirring up the whole town to do some sort of witch hunt. In fact, it may not even be safe to go back into town. At least, don't act suspicious. Try not to draw any undue attention. And then we need to get this. Yeah, let's go sleep in the mountains for a
It's a
while.
little picnic, yes.
Well, and our greatest problem is that I have mud and soot on my shoes.
Do you go back to the inn and try to get cleaned up? It's likely that Lisa and Franzabald went there. They probably didn't feel the need to linger here at the mine. Franzabald's purple suit is all sooted as well. And perhaps he escorted Lisa back to the inn.
Yeah, they would have, under normal circumstances, they'd have said goodbye to us, though, so I
Right.
still feel like it's very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
But in what way? Does he actually live in this town?
Franzabald,
Or is
no,
he
no. He was
No.
asked to come here by Bruselius.
And he's a member of the society, so
yes. So
do
he's
we
trustworthy.
have we been in? Yeah, okay, so he is trustworthy.
It's-
Okay. Or we feel that he's trustworthy.
There's perhaps some suspicion that if Bruselius brought him here, maybe he brought you here as well, and that was the ruse that Bruselius wanted you here because you have the sight, and maybe Franzabald has been made to see the error of his ways. That thought
He
crosses
wants-
your minds.
Okay, yeah, he wants someone to blame for what's going on, and he doesn't
Right.
want it to be him. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. What do you think, everybody? Should we just stay out of town? We could pretend to be going to look at the river or something and do a little bit of a tour and...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like staying out of town until nighttime makes
Yeah.
sense.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go ahead and do experience points. So there's the questionnaire. The first question is, did you participate? That's yes for everyone. Did you confront any Vaesen? We did not confront a Vaesen.
Unless it was while I was when I woke up in bed.
True.
We also did the seance, if that counts.
Did?
I'm going to say no. You will probably get this point next time. So I'm going to say no
Yeah.
on confronting. But did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen? Yes. Did you take risks to protect other people? Did anyone take a risk to protect someone else?
I guess I took a risk in letting Blix bite the guy's
I
ankles to
think you
protect all of
absolutely
us.
did, because he could have done something horrible to Blix. Then have you learned anything? I think everyone has learned something here. They've learned
Yes.
about this new Vaesen, and you've learned about what happened to the baby. And then there's, did you develop something in your headquarters, which is no. Did you perform an extraordinary action? And I don't know that that's a yes yet. Again, that will probably be next session. And then one...
The Ilsa's seance
The
was
seance
pretty
was
cool.
that was pretty cool. the last question is, were you affected by your dark secret? And I'll let you all decide if you were. So right now you'll get 3, and if you were affected by your dark secret, you'll get 4. And then you can add that to your character sheet, and some of you should still have some experience points. And then you can spend points if you like. You can spend 5 experience points to buy an advancement in any skill. So that wouldn't be like physique, precision, logic, or empathy, but you could raise agility, close combat, force. Any of those can go up by 1. You can also buy a new talent. You can never have more than 5 in a skill, but there's no limit to the number of talents that you can have. There's also a questionnaire about the development points for the castle. Did you play at least one scene at the headquarters? Yes. Did you encounter a new type of Vaesen? Not yet. Did you visit a place of magic? Not yet. Were you subjected to magic? Not yet. Did you bring any occult books or other important items back? No. Did you make important contacts? I'm going to say yes. Franzibald is an important contact, as well as Eric. Was the mystery particularly difficult and epic, and did you solve it? Both of those, I think, are no, but those will change next time. So that's going to be 2 development points for the castle. So let me put that on the castle. And then we can spend points to add, like if we want to bring in Eric, there's a whole list of things that we can add. In fact, for the castle upgrades, there's personnel. We can get a caretaker, a chef, a coachman, a gamekeeper, a gardener, a guard, a physician, an inventor, a mystic, a quartermaster, a recruit, a stable boy. He could do any of those things. We just have to meet the certain requirements in order to have those, but then we can spend those development points to get those. So does anyone want to spend points on skills or talents? I can help you with that.
I don't. I've only got 4 points so far, but I did want to say I've made a note for myself to mention that Lisa saying she'd woken up in the forest covered in blood kind of twinged a little bit to Dagmar because of her interest in werewolves and her history with werewolves.
I think that's probably worth a point for your dark secret. So I would give yourself an extra point for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to get a new talent.
Okay. There is a whole list of talents. Do I have the page? Let me see if I've got the page.
Was it 5 experience for a new talent?
Yes. So if you go to the journals, if you look under the Vaesen core game, the talents, chapter 4 talents, should be observable, and you can look at a list of the talents, and you can learn any of the talents. It can be the talents for the archetype or the general talents as well. And then you can just drag and drop that onto your character sheet, and then just do the math. I'll trust you to be honest and subtract the 5 points for that. Were you able to find that? Do you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. Anyone else have questions or want to spend points? Or if you did spend points, let us know how you spent them.
Yeah, Nigel's going to take a talent. One of the servants' talents. Probably robust.
Nice. So robust ignores penalties for physical conditions on 1 roll per gaming session. That'll be really good.
Montgomery will also take a new talent.
Hobo tricks.
No. He took the famous talent.
Famous? Nice.
He's a rather renowned lord, I suppose.
So yeah, famous is gain +2 to manipulation when trying to influence someone who has heard of you. Well, as long as Nigel goes around and introduces you, or
we need to work out a line where I can introduce you with a really long title every time we meet somebody.
Lord Montgomery, Slayer of the Great Beasts. Anyone else taking a talent or a skill?
Yes. I think I'll take focused.
Okay.
Ignore penalties from conditions when making investigation tests.
Awesome. And then were you able to drag that onto your character sheet? If not, I can do it for you if you need.
Yes, you may have to.
Yeah, I'll take care of it for you. Yes.
Thank you.
General talents. There we are. Focused. No, it's not general. Is it under academic?
Oh no, it's under private detective.
Oh, private detective. There we are. Oh, got it. Perfect. Now you have focused on your character sheet.
Woohoo.
Excellent. Ilsa, did you take something or do something?
No, I'm not taking anything.
And so Freya did that. Lord Montgomery did that. Nigel, you took robust. Ilsa didn't do anything. And Dagmar, what about you?
I think I've so I got 5 because I had 1 from the last game. So I think I will take suspicious. Ignore mental conditions when making vigilance tests.
Oh, and you are very suspicious, so that's perfect. Do you need me to drag that onto your...
I might,
sheet?
yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
I can take care of that.
Yes, I trust my people, but other than that, I don't trust anybody. No matter how kind and sweet I can act.
And what is suspicious? Sorry, what was it under again?
That is my my vagabond talents specific.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
There it is. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Any questions before we sign off for the evening? We will definitely finish this session next time and get started on the next, or finish this mystery next time and get started on the next one, and maybe get a good chunk through it. I was thinking this one would probably take a little bit longer, but man, it's been better than I was expecting. Like, you guys are incredibly suspicious and very astute, so this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to, like, as dark as, burning a baby can be, it's going to get worse. So, excellent.
They killed a dog.
Right?
That's the word.
So when I was reading that, I thought, oh, Tina's going to hate this part. And then I thought, oh, this is going to be wonderful. So, yeah. Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I had a blast. I will post the recording to this here shortly, and then feel free during the time between this session and next to engage in the Discord if you want to give backstory or talk about what should we do next. That's there for you guys. Likewise, if anyone wants to keep a journal on here, I think I've got the journal. I think I've got it so you guys can make journals. If I don't, I can make one. Let me check the permissions, because that's something I know sometimes people like to do, is to create journal entries. Let me double check that. Yes, so if you want to create a journal entry, you can. I can make one to start, and I'll just call it Lost Mountain Saga Journal. And I'll give all of you ownership of it so that you can do with it what you will. Give ownership to owner. There we go. Awesome. Now I will sign off. I'll bid you all a good evening or good morning / afternoon to Tina, and I will see you all next week. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yes, thanks so much.
That's a perfect mate.